Please take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, aka Coop A. Fiasco. What's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on the Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-host, John Luke Garofalo and Coop A. Fiasco. What's up, boys?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Oh, we're starting off with a British accent immediately this morning. We're
Is
not
that
even
British?
I don't
think that was British, bro.
Oh God, now I'm hearing things, Coop. Look what you've done to me. As soon as you start talking, I hear British accent.
Mate. Have you been thinking really hard about yours but not doing it still?
All day.
It's right on the tip of your tongue.
The entire time I was watching like game shows and I wasn't answering fast enough because like every time I would want to answer, I'd be like, oh, this is the time you're going to do it in a British accent. Like you're definitely going to do a Jeopardy answer in a British accent. But instead I just didn't answer and had a horrible time watching it.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game, really. Because, you know, and now at any moment it could happen. You're just waiting to erupt, and probably not on the show. It'll probably be like you'll be at the grocery store or something. And just be like, do you have any Triscuits?
Why are you yelling, sir?
We got some people in the chat ready for this morning's show. Maria in here with the fire. What's up, Maria? Good morning. And we got Craig with the Grimace Gang, cat, mouse, cat, mushroom. Craig's having one hell of a morning. Just a lot of wild stuff going on over there. Maria excited for Thursday night football. And
I like this
cheerio.
typo. Thursday night football.
Thursday night.
Thursday night football.
Nor?
What does "nigh" mean? I'm not even sure I would know the right context.
I was about to say something. It is. We know it's fancy. I was about
almost. It means like
almost, dude.
Almost fancy.
It's nigh the night. But
see, it works. Thursday night football.
Thursday
almost football.
That makes me think of like the game is slightly different. Like on Thursday, you've got Thursday almost football. Yeah. Or like it's just
football
a little
light.
different.
That's what the Bears. That's what the Bears have been playing.
Thursday
like
night.
Kick them while they're down, Coop.
Yeah, it's almost football. Yeah, it's not quite football, but it's almost football.
They call it football.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got some almost football tonight between the Steelers and the Browns. We'll see how that game goes out. And Craig's agreeing. Browns versus Steelers is nigh football. It is almost football. Maria is right. Yeah, we got a little bit spoiled with our other Thursday night matchups, but hopefully we get a good game with this one as well. Before we get into that, though, there's some news that we got to go over today. Bill Stephon Diggs came out and said he hopes to grow old with Josh Allen. I'm trying to get some Christmas cards with us on it, is what he said. Could be in there for the long haul. This could be one of those iconic NFL wide receiver QB duos that stays together for the long run. And I don't know, would make a lot of sense for the Bills to keep those two together.
It makes me sad because I should be best friends with Stephon Diggs. We should be growing old together, not him and Josh Allen. It's just not right.
I think the main difference, JL, is that Josh Allen threw him 15 targets this weekend.
Listen, if he had asked, I would have absolutely thrown him 15 targets, but he didn't ask me. So
if he had only gotten 2 targets this weekend, he would have been like, I'm busy.
JL, you up?
I'm busy on Thanksgiving too. Yo, JL, what you wearing? Trying to send you text like trying to chill.
But in his cryptic Twitter language.
Rematch winky face is what it says about your sit-ups competition.
Let me guess who won.
Stab me in the heart, but not in my back. Stephon Diggs.
Let me guess who won the sit-up competition between you and a professional football player.
Okay, go ahead.
Was it you?
It was me.
Did you win?
It was me.
What?
Now, Jill, very important follow-up question. Did you cheat?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, without a doubt,
not,
you had
not
to cheat
full
to beat
sit-ups.
Diggs.
I was like probably 5'4" and like 200 pounds. So Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. He was on the varsity team, starting on the varsity team at 14 years old as a freshman.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe you gave him the motivation to become great.
I don't think so, because the very first play I ever watched him play, he took a kickoff to the house as a freshman on the varsity team.
And that was before the sit-ups.
Yes, right before.
So he was.
I made sure to time it up.
Maybe that is what helped you become so great, or possibly complacent.
I would say so. I would say definitely.
Jail, isn't it like watching these NFL caliber players in high school, like when they were high schoolers, is almost comical, because you've got a bunch of kids like doing their best. You know what I mean? Like you've got a bunch of like bankers and insurance salesmen and accountants and teachers like out there on the field, really, they're doing great. And then you throw a Stephon Diggs out on the field and they've got literally no chance. The entire game plan becomes stop that man, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Right. They were promised like this nice, like idyllic, the high school football star, and then they just get wrecked by real talent.
We had we had two kids. I already talked about Anthony Sherman. We had another kid who was arguably better. In one game, like he ran back every punt and kick to the point where we didn't need to play offense until like the third quarter. It was
That's such an annoying way to play football.
Oh my god, it was crazy.
Like,
one of them was like I'm not even kidding, like a 20-second play. Like he just Tecmo Super Bowled it like back at our 20-yard line until everyone was tired, and then just took it all the way to the end zone. Like that weekend between the varsity, JV, and freshman game, I think we beat Sharon like 110-0. Sorry, Sharon.
Yeah, suck it, Sharon.
Suck it, Sharon.
Yeah.
Here we go, Red.
Football.
Here we go, Red.
Bradley Chubb went to my high school, and it's one thing when it's an offensive player, but when you've got a dude like Bradley Chubb lining up against high school offensive linemen, it's disgusting. It feels illegal. Like it feels like it shouldn't be allowed to have that man line up against these guys that are like on a good day 230 pounds. You know what I mean? Like that's if they ate double McDonald's for lunch. It's brutal watching these guys just get manhandled. But
on Monday, those kids were definitely doing their homework, right? They were like, "Oh man, I gotta study."
I'm really, you know what? I'm just not cut out for this. I think I should focus on my academics.
Exactly, right? Like,
and maybe chemistry.
So, math, guys, pretty cool, right?
Cool.
We had some good news come out yesterday. Commanders running back Brian Robinson is on the field for the first time since his shooting earlier in this offseason. Thank God. I know this is awesome news. And man, when we first heard the news, I don't think anybody thought we were going to see him play this year. It was just, is he going to be okay? Is he going to be okay? And now he's on the damn football field. Like he's going to play this season. It seems like, barring a completely unrelated injury, but we'll see Brian Robinson out on the football field. And I know we've talked about it before, Coop, but is this the time to pick him up? Let's say you don't have an IR spot. Like now that he's practicing, when is the time to like maybe make that preemptive pickup before your league mates grab him and put him on their bench?
That's tough. I think, he's probably already stashed in a lot of IR spot leagues. I mean, dude, this kind of changes the way I feel about gunshots almost. I mean, I know they're not all created equally, but dude, he's back so quick. Dude. What's
the way you think about gunshots?
Like I
don't know, guys. I'm just rethinking the whole gravity thing. You know,
right? Jeez, he's back crazy quick. You know, but yeah, I don't know. It would have to be a kind of a deep league because it's going to be a three-headed monster regardless. I think it was going to be anyway. Like even if he's a starter. They have McKissick. They have Antonio Gibson. Those guys are superior pass catchers. So it's not ideal. I don't know. Dale, what are you thinking?
That's exactly how I feel, Coop. And I feel like I haven't verbalized that concern. And I've just sort of been thinking it in my subconscious as people have been like bringing up Brian Robinson over and over again, where I was viewing this guy before all this as just a dart, right? Like at least for redraft, this wasn't necessarily expecting him to pay off fantasy wise this year. And so him coming back from this, like, I'm not necessarily super hyped for his fantasy output. I think he's even more of a dart now, but it's still unlikely. And especially with Gibson and McKissick, they're getting the job done. So I don't think that they're going to need Brian Robinson or that he's going to, necessarily command a massive role in this offense right out of the bat.
That's definitely in the range of outcomes. I agree with you. Like he comes in, it's just this three-headed monster. And don't get me wrong, McKissick for sure, definitely going to be used. I see Gibson being used. But in the preseason, we saw Brian Robinson declared the starter, Antonio Gibson returning punts. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just saying that like that doesn't mean nothing, and that's not going away suddenly because of
this preseason, right? Season. Like, can we? I mean, do we know if that's just like preseason? Like, let's see what we got in Brian
starting
Robinson?
Running back doesn't return punts for you. Like that's not how you usually get that out there. The Falcons are fighting Cordero Patterson right now because he wants to break Devin Hester's record on kickoff return TDs. Right? He wants to break the record. He's one away from doing it, but they don't want him out there. Like they don't want him out there returning kickoffs because they don't want him to get hurt. So they put him out there for one late in the game. But like, if Antonio Gibson was supposedly going to be their full-time starter, they're not going to have him returning punts, returning kickoffs. So I see in the Randy Moss did it from getting the game in the chat.
Also
Randy
in the
Moss
chat, Craig said probably not Coop's best take. Yeah, I was just trying to deflect from that Amon-Ra St. Brown take by having a worse take, which I think I might have said just now. Gunshots not so bad. Gunshots is still pretty.
Because I'm rethinking gunshots.
Pretty bad. Yeah. And Simon, if you have a moment, could you read Eric Trin's comment from the YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have gotten so in my head about this accent now that like it's. You know, we just need to rip the Band-Aid
Rip the
off.
Band-Aid.
We just need to rip the Band-Aid off.
Rip the Band-Aid.
This is gonna come out Italian. I don't know why. I just in my
This is gonna come out Italian. I just know it.
Hey, double morning.
I got meatballs in my soul.
Meatball.
I can't do it. I can't do it, guys.
Yeah,
I'm two in my head. I
you
can't
were so
do
close.
it.
You were so close, dude. What's
close. The worst that's gonna happen, Simon? We're gonna make fun of you. We're gonna do that either way.
Top of the morning, gents. Beautiful day, isn't it? What's up, Eric? Welcome, man. How'd you like that? Guys, I gotta work up to it. The longer I delay it, the worse it's gonna be when I finally do it.
Tommy says, pip, pip.
Pip. Why is that like the immediate, like whenever you go to talk in a British accent, it's always like pip pip cheerio. Boston is like park your car. Like there's just all these phrases that you say whenever you talk in an accent immediately.
Super trash, dude. So trash.
Yesterday. So go ahead, Coop.
I was just gonna say, like my favorite are the people that go right for the sports guys. Like they're like Marcus Smart. That's the best one, you know. Like, there's a goalie for the I think he plays for the Flyers that we need to get to Boston. His name is Carter Hart, and I need that guy on the Bruins. Get Carter Hart up here.
Just so you can hear everyone saying that name.
Everyone around Boston, just like chorus of Carter Hart.
You see this new Carter Hart guy?
Wicked smart.
Wicked smart, dude. He's wicked good.
Yesterday, New York Giants wide receiver Kenny Gallade was asked about on getting just 2 snaps on Sunday. He said, I should be playing through the first 2 weeks. He's got 2 receptions, 22 yards, and that's after a stellar last season where he had 37 receptions, 521 yards, 0 TDs after being brought over to the Giants to be that wide receiver 1. That was sarcasm. It wasn't a stellar season. What do you guys think's going on with Kenny G there? Is he just not the receiver they thought he was, or what's happening?
I think he's a little scared. I think he's a little frightened.
I got a bit of a hot take here, but I'm starting to wonder if maybe Matthew Stafford is better than Daniel Jones.
What?
Because I saw with my own 2 eyeballs Kenny Gallade have 1,000 yards and like 10 touchdowns, but now he got no touchdowns.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Were you about to just drop a shut up on me?
Yeah, I did it. I did a half. I said shut, and then I did it. I mouthed it.
Shut up. Yeah, scorching hot takes this morning. You know, Daniel Jones has more turnovers than touchdowns over the last 2 years. The Giants are dead last in touchdowns over that span. Hot. Yeah, you know, I think you're right. Matthew Stafford could be better than Kenny Gallade, but it feels like even more is going wrong. The last we saw, he was a great wide receiver, right? And now it just looks like he's nothing. He's not even being used. But I see Squirrel Bob in here saying Kenny G, arguably worst free agent pickup. Yeah, this one's pretty bad. What did they pay him? Do you guys know how much they paid Kenny G? It was a decent chunk, right? Whenever they brought him over. $1 zillion.
Just
I think it's close to 18 million a year. Off the top of my head, I think 18 million a year. I'll pull it up. 4 years, 72. So if
It
anybody's
just feel if
anybody's
it feels like
available for
the
math,
Giants are just like they're. I feel like Dable's coming in and he just doesn't care about these guys that have been here. I feel like he's just waiting out Gallade, waiting out that contract because he inherited it, and he's just going to focus on the players that he has, players that he drafted, and build out from there. I don't see this getting any better for Kenny Gallade. I think this is like probably a combination of both injury and just situation where I don't think they're supportive of him in any way.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, JL. This is not getting better for Kenny Gallade. It's this is 2 years now, right? Like last year it wasn't great. Like it maybe a little bit better, 37 receptions, but that's about the pace he's on for this year, right? With those 2 receptions through 2 games, we're looking at the same exact situation. Something's just not working with this match between Kenny G and the Giants, but I don't know if it's something off the field. I don't know if he's like
3.8% target share.
Maybe it's something at practice that we're not seeing. Maybe he's not happy in New York. Know what I mean? We've seen that before where players just kind of start phoning it in. But man, yeah, I like droppable in my mind. If you even had him on your lineup, he's 100% droppable.
and there's an outside chance. I mean, we've seen this before that Kenny Gallade goes somewhere else and ends up being good again. I mean, I've seen Randy Moss mail it in. I've seen Mike Wallace mail it in. I've seen Chris Carter be terrible and then go somewhere else. So, I mean, it's not crazy. There's a possibility that it's just the organization. So keep that in mind in your dynasty leagues, because we've seen the guy play well. It's not like that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yesterday, Justin Fields told us that he's okay with the Bears' run-first offense. The Bears are passing the ball right now less than any other NFL team this season, and Justin Fields has thrown just 28 passes in 2 games. He was asked if throwing only 11 passes on Sunday indicated the Bears coaches didn't have faith in him. He said that is not the case. Even though they were trailing most of Sunday's loss to the Packers, and teams usually throw the ball when they're behind, the Bears didn't put that game on Fields whenever they needed that comeback. JL, do you think there is some lack of trust in Justin Fields here? Do you think this is just weird game scripts that we're seeing?
I don't know that it's a lack of trust in Justin Fields. I mean, we knew this offense is going to have a ton of holes in the offseason. We knew that they were not coming to the season from a point of surplus in the personnel department. The wide receiver core, right? Like Darnell Mooney. They were just like filling the depth of this team with guys like N'Keal Harry, and I'm not surprised that this is happening, but I don't think it's necessarily indicative of Justin Fields. And I think it's a similar type of argument that we saw with Trevor Lawrence, where people tend to just put all of the blame and all like the cause onto the quarterback because it's the simplest solution. It's not always that simple.
Well, I think in this case, it kind of is. I went back and looked at the box score. I'm trying to figure out what the heck happened here, because we were kind of talking about it. And dude, both the running backs are running for 8-9 yards a carry. And you have this guy who dropped back 41 times and only threw it 28 over the last 2 games. This week, he got sacked 3 times, ran the ball 8 times for average of 2.5 yards. Throw the ball, dude. Like, I went back, they're calling the dropbacks. Like, these are being classified as dropbacks, and he's just kind of goofing around. Like, throw it.
Yeah.
You got to throw it, man. If you're losing by double-digit points like they were for pretty much that whole game, throw the ball. So I think it is on Justin Fields. And
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Justin Fields has no responsibility in this. I think he absolutely does. I agree with you. I think he needs to play much better. We're saying he's not responsible for all of the Bears' issues.
Right, of course, yeah. But throw the ball, dude. Like, throw the ball. Like, I want to see this week, no scrambling until you are like get the pass game going, because you just got crushed. And it really wasn't even 11. It was 7 of 9. They were completing the passes when he would actually throw it. He just wasn't throwing it. And then the last drive, he came out, had an incompletion, and then threw an interception when it was like desperation time. That doesn't even count. During the game, when it was actually like it was a real game, they were completing passes, and then they would call these plays, and he would just, get caught scrambling around. Throw the ball, dude.
Yeah, I see JB Barry in the chat saying, of course he's okay with it. Limit his opportunity to screw up. So I'm guessing he doesn't believe in Justin Fields. I still believe Justin Fields can be that dude. We have been spoiled by quarterback success recently, like early in their careers. But you have to remember, like, quarterbacks don't always immediately become these like superstar level guys. Like, there can be development, especially when you're on a team as offensively lacking in talent as the Chicago Bears are. And then they didn't do much to address it in the draft either, right? They added 38-year-old rookie wide receiver Velus Jones, and that's about all they did for Justin Fields.
He actually turned 64 this year.
You could just say the Bears suck, dude. You don't have to say they're offensively lacking in talent.
I like that.
Yeah, they're lacking.
Painted a word picture.
They are absent of football ability. Just be
That's
like,
how I wrote every single high school
Brown's
paper.
not good, bro. Just it's okay to say that. I think.
What's the opposite of a hog?
Yeah, I think
A log.
Logs.
Log of the week.
Absolute log.
Absolute log, man. What I wouldn't do for a log.
That guy's a wagon. That guy's a total log.
Exactly. Darn it.
It's kind of like maybe you were the least confident in Justin Fields, or maybe the most putting this the most on him and his abilities. Do you think he's a franchise quarterback?
I mean, as of right now, no. You know what I mean? Like, now we're into the second year here. Andy Dalton looked better than him last year. Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney had their best 2 games with Andy Dalton. I mean, if you're talking about Darnell Mooney, it was his best 3 games, right? I said on Twitter, this could happen. I was like, Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney, their success depends entirely on Justin Fields. And guess what? Justin Fields is not playing well. So, I mean, he's on the hot seat just as much as anybody else. They didn't draft this dude, you know? This is a new regime, just like you talked about with the Giants. So I think he's on a super hot seat, man. And he needs to start playing well. Like, it doesn't matter who you have. I've watched great quarterbacks throw it to terrible players. I watched Deion Branch be the MVP of the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, you know? So I think he needs to go out and start slinging it and show people what he has, because, like, just quietly, lying down against the Packers, that's lame.
Yep. I'm
lame energy.
I mostly agree with you. I do think he will. Like, maybe I'll just take it a step further, right? I agree with everything you said, but then that next step, I think he will. I think we'll see it from Justin Fields. I think we'll see enough from Justin Fields in order to get that confidence to be a franchise quarterback from the Bears going forward. We've got some more coming up, guys. We're going to be talking some Thursday night football, Steelers at Browns, and the fantasy implications of that game. We'll hit some player props later in the show. Jalen and I going head-to-head in a little player prop matchup. And then we'll play some hypothetically later today as well. And Emmett Golden from ESPN Cleveland is joining the show as well in preparation for this Browns-Steelers game. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media on Better Sports Network.
What happened with Brown? They do the same thing, like they made like an orange Notre Dame guy in the field. You know what I'm saying?
That's an old school throwback. That's a throwback logo.
I would take that off the field immediately. Like, I was in charge of football operations for the Cleveland Browns. I'd be talking to the field staff, right? Hey, get this off the field right now, damn it. Get it out of here. That would be me right now if I was in charge of logistics, football operations for the Cleveland Browns. Like, hey, everybody, get over here. Everybody, get over here and get this thing off the field right now, damn it. That's what I'd be yelling at them like that, Nando.
How do you do that? Do you have to, like,
yell at it?
I know. I mean, how do you get stuff off the field? Yeah, how does that? I got that. Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah. You come out there with a
megaphone?
like Joe Clark. Yeah. every ass needs to get in line and get yourself off the field.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Tua will never have a better game for the rest of his life. Okay, so if there was ever a time to trade high on a guy, 42 points, 469 yards, 6 touchdowns, now is it. Okay, there are people with Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Mitch Trubisky, Jameis Winston. Like, there's all kinds of people out there. Trey Lance. There's tons of teams that need a quarterback. I would strongly be considering trading him. I'm trying to remember what we had him ranked at Fantasy Guru, like, for full season. I think they had him like 15th, 16th, something like that for the season. And a game like this could take him from 16th to 13th, just one game, right? I think he'll be very good. Is he going to be top 10? I'm not sold on that. If he is being viewed that way, and I think he likely is, if he's your second quarterback, as he almost certainly is, I'd be listening.
Josh rolling to his left, looks back, throws the other way to his right. It is caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Stephon Diggs.
I want to thank Stephon Diggs. Woo, get it done.
Josh will take another shotgun snap. Takes, looks downfield, fires downfield, looking for Diggs inside the 5. Dives for it, makes the catch, and it is caught. Touchdown, Buffalo.
I thought I was buried in a few leagues, and Stephon Diggs revived me.
Gonna throw it to Diggs. Bobbles makes the catch into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Stephon Diggs, the hat trick. His third touchdown for the Bills.
This team is going to pass the ball. Josh Allen going for the MVP. The Bills on this Super Bowl run. So that guy was someone I wanted in the mid to late first round. Career year coming for him.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
I mean, it hurts more in the locker room than the Bears fans. I mean, because at the end of the day, they're not putting in any work. I see the guys in the locker room every day. I see how much work they put in. So,
what's up, everyone? Welcome back into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. We had some questions in the chat during that break that I want to make sure we're answering right now. First one came in from Eric. He said PPR Flex Pick 1. Russell Gage, Irv Smith Jr., Juju, and Elijah Moore. Thanks. I'm going with Juju Smith-Schuster here. I know he's had he had a disappointing week last week if you started him in a matchup that seemed like it might be a fun one to start him in, but I still think he's going to be the primary target outside of Travis Kelce on this team. There's going to be big weeks for Juju. You just might see some where the targets go a different direction, right? There's plenty of receiving options here, but I'm still starting Juju over Gage, Irv Smith, and Elijah Moore. Coop, what about you?
Yeah, it's between Juju and Elijah Moore for me, but I think that the Jets offense has been boosted by positive game scripts. I mean, Joe Flacco is not going to throw 50 times every game as he has so far. So I'd play Juju here. I'm with you.
What if he does, though? What if he does?
If he does, dude, then you're
new Joe
idiot
Flacco
for not starting Elijah Moore. If that's the new Joe Flacco and he's just chuck it football robot, dude, and he's going to shatter the pass attempt record by like 300.
What is the level up from elite?
Elite playoff dragon Joe Flacco.
Elite playoff dragon.
Hog. Yeah,
Lizard King.
He's right now he's playing like an absolute hog. But
total hog.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Flacco, hog.
Yeah. But I think right now Elijah Moore and Juju probably about the same guy, and Patrick Mahomes is better than Flacco. I mean, sometimes you can use the transitive properties there.
JL, where are you going in this one? Russell Gage, Irv Smith, Juju, or Elijah Moore?
I completely agree with what Coop said, where this is between Elijah Moore and Juju. I am not as confident as you are, Simon, with Juju's long-term production in this offense. I know the argument is like, who else is there?
No, that is not the argument, JL. There's so many else there.
The argument,
no.
He's the next in line, essentially. Right?
No,
it's slightly different because Sky Moore's there.
The position he plays for that offense, I feel like, provides him with the safest target floor out of everybody there. And there's going to be some consistency. Like MVS, don't get me wrong, he's going to get lots of targets, but he's that downfield threat. Maybe you get a touchdown from him, maybe you don't. Juju, I think, week in, week out, I know we got 4.4 PPR points from him last week. That was pretty gross, but I think he's going to be more consistent throughout the year than these other guys. There's lots of mouths to feed there.
Juju's got 15.1% target share after 2 weeks. Marquez Valdes-Scantling has the same exact target share, 15.1%. Mecole Hardman is the next one up after them. Of course, Travis Kelce is leading the team. But after MVS, it's Mecole Hardman with 13.7%. And so I feel like this is what we're going to kind of get, is this even distribution, which is just going to be bad for fantasy for all these secondary options, in my opinion.
I get it, but have you considered Juju's by far the best of all of those secondary options?
I had not considered that, and honestly, Simon,
it's not particularly close in my mind. He
might be convincing me
the best wide receiver on that team. That's why I'm going there. We had another question from Eric. Eric said PPR Flex Pick 1. That's exactly the question I just read. So let's answer that one again. Or we could go to Mike's. You have to bench one of these players. Kareem Hunt, Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, and Amari Cooper. JL, which one of these 4 players are you benching? Hunt, Pollard, Jacobs, or Cooper?
That seems like a to have, actually. I would probably see. I'm not benching Josh Jacobs at this point. I think I would bench Amari Cooper out of this group.
Mark Cooper looked great this week, dude. I'm starting Josh Jacobs, and First of all, I'm going to start the players that are starters, right? So I'll start Josh Jacobs and Amari Cooper. And then you've got 2 backup timeshare RBs, and one of them's playing with Cooper Rush. So I'm going to bench Tony Pollard.
Josh Jacobs has the easiest matchup here, or the best matchup, I guess, against Tennessee. Kareem Hunt, they're playing Pittsburgh. Amari Cooper also playing Pittsburgh, and then Tony Pollard is playing the New York Giants.
Yeah.
The New York Giants.
I
think I would go Josh Jacobs and Kareem Hunt are the top 2 for me. They really separate themselves from the other 2, and then Tony Pollard and Amari Cooper are close, but I would go Tony Pollard.
Start a couple Thursday night Browns. Dig yourself a nice hole, Eric.
Thursday night Browns. We all got a case of the Thursday night Browns some days.
Oh, I do. There was cream sauce in my Blue Apron yesterday.
Of course there was.
It is nigh time for Thursday night Browns.
Which one is the grosser sounding metaphor? The Thursday night Browns or cream sauce in your blue apron?
Cream sauce.
They both sound pretty bad, bro.
I got some cream sauce in my Blue Apron last night.
The way you said it, I thought you were making a Kareem Hunt pun.
Those metaphors,
cream sauce in my Blue Apron.
Dude. No, just a packet of cream that I squeezed into some tomato puree is what we had going on last night. On that note, I actually like Kareem Hunt tonight. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been great against the run, only allowing 4 yards per carry to their opponents this year. So Nick Chubb, maybe we see him struggle a little bit more than we did through the first 2 games running against this Pittsburgh defensive line, and they get Kareem Hunt going a little bit in the receiving game. Like I'm with you, Coop. I've been on the bench Kareem Hunt the past couple weeks straight. It worked out once. It didn't the week before. But this is a week where I'm rolling him out there. And I think the player I'm benching is Tony Pollard of this bunch. So Coop and I agree. JL standing alone, but I don't mind it. We had another question in here. Fear Chris. Ah!
Whoa. Settle down there, Chris.
It's a little early for that.
Chris?
It's a little early
Not
for
even
that
October,
bro.
buddy. No spookies.
I got offered Derrick Henry and Christian Kirk for Diggs and CEH. IDK, what to do? So Derrick Henry and Christian Kirk for Diggs and CEH.
Did he say, is this PPR, half PPR, full PPR?
We have no further information.
It matters.
Fear Chris.
It matters with the Derrick Henry trade. Always.
So what would you?
I'd be worried to buy the dip on Derrick Henry because unless you're going to get this, it's all going to come down to costs essentially, because whoever drafted Derrick Henry, I don't think is going to want to give Derrick Henry up for that much less than where they drafted them at. People tend to, retain the value of their own players. It's a very popular cognitive bias amongst fantasy managers. I don't know that I don't think I'd make this trade.
What was the other running back on the other side?
CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I like the Henry
LSU.
I like the Henry and Kirk side, regardless of format.
I was going to see how long you would just let me go, like coming up with additional
I was
ways
shutting that down
immediately.
I didn't even want to answer right away, but I had to say something to stop what you were doing.
I think I'm on the Diggs and the CEH side. There's a very real chance that, like, I know usually you look position to position, but that Diggs outscores Derrick Henry this year, right? Like, based on what we've seen through 2 weeks, Diggs could be the guy that outscores Derrick Henry. And then Christian Kirk and CEH, you're buying into Christian Kirk being that $20 million man, which, you know what, not a bad bet to take, but I'll take the running back. Like, I think because of positional scarcity there, CEH and Christian Kirk are probably relatively similar in their value right now. But I don't know. This is tough for me. Maybe it's just I want to see a little bit more from that other side because I feel like it's a double risk. Like, it's Christian Kirk being something that he hasn't, that we've seen through 2 weeks, and Derrick Henry going back to what he was, which we haven't seen through 2 weeks with this Tennessee Titans offense. So I feel like this is the kind of trade that you could just really screw up your team with, and you got a good thing going with Diggs and CEH. I'm rolling that way. We got another question. Eric, PPR says he might need a running back in flex between these guys if James Conner is ruled out. The players are James Robinson, Josh Jacobs, Terry McLaurin, Rashad Bateman, and Elijah Moore. So James Robinson, Josh Jacobs, Terry McLaurin, Rashad Bateman, and Elijah Moore needs a running back and a flex out of that bunch. Coop, what do you think?
Eric comes here to the Rashad Bateman fan club of JL and I asking if he should start Rashad Bateman. Dude, here's the beautiful thing about Rashad Bateman and why I'm so excited for him this week is that we've been talking a lot in the early season. You have to talk about it. We've been talking about a lot about the number of snaps these teams are playing, like the Bengals playing 100, the Jets averaging 77. Last year, the Ravens led the league averaging 69 snaps per game. Nice. And this year so far through 2 games, they've had 56 snaps and 58 snaps. So if they were to go back to that average, this game would have to have like 90 snaps, right? I think they have better game scripts coming where they throw the ball more. Every time you have like a turnover or Devin Duvernay kick return, that takes away a whole drive, right? That's not going to happen every week. So I think it's going to get even better for Rashad Bateman, better for Mark Andrews. And this could be the week for that. I think Rashad Bateman legitimately has wide receiver 1 upside. And I'm smashing him into every lineup I can. Forget the might have to start him.
Coop.
Hey, I'll take it a step further. Forget the might have to start him if James Conner's out. Start him over James Conner straight up.
What? JL, what about you? So Coop, I think is going to start Rashad Bateman. I'm not sure. What are you doing here?
Was that a little wishy-washy on that take?
Yeah, a little wishy-washy. If you could like make up your mind.
Make up your man, bro.
Make up your man. Make up your man.
Make up your minds, man.
Where was that one from?
It's somewhere off the coast of Australia.
That was a little
Not America.
Not quite.
This is Shreky.
Yeah, it was a little Shreky.
Donkey.
I was like,
did you know? Fun Shrek fact. Mike Myers originally recorded all of the lines with an American accent and then went home, was laying in bed, and he said he had like a dream or something or a thought where he was like, no, Shrek is definitely Scottish, and called him up and re-recorded every line. Like Shrek was not originally Scottish whenever they recorded the lines.
Isn't there video of like the original audio? I feel like I watched that whenever we last talked about this.
I have not. Oh, and
there is a video, and it's like horrifying.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty disturbing.
There's a video
coming in. You're saying Chris Farley originally recorded the lines too. Can you imagine a Chris Farley?
That's what I'm talking about. That's horrifying. There's a Chris Farley version out there floating around. That's like insane.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That would be bizarre. I'm just trying to imagine, like, for some reason, I'm now putting Chris Farley's mannerisms onto Shrek as well. Like, not just his voice, but Shrek is like running around like Chris Farley on the set of SNL. Like,
hey, another Shrek fun fact: Gilbert Godfrey actually was the original voice of Donkey, and this is absolutely not true at all.
Not true at all.
Can you imagine?
Folks at home, smash that fun button to subscribe to Shrek Facts.
Shrek Facts right here on Better Sports Network.
The hottest Shrek Facts every morning for about
we're peeling away these layers of the sun.
10.
I don't know why. No, I know exactly why I thought of this. It's because you said Gilbert Godfrey, but I was watching this show, and at the very beginning, they had a disclaimer. It was like a improv game show. And at the beginning, they had a disclaimer that said, this was recorded before our friend Gilbert Godfrey passed away. In honor of his love for bad taste, we have deleted nothing. And then they just roasted the hell out of him at the end of the show. Like the very last prompt just went for it. But like that disclaimer at the beginning, I was looking forward to the entire show. Like when is Gilbert Godfrey going to come up? Like you're going to put that at the beginning and make me wait till the end of the episode.
Gilbert Godfrey would have loved that too. Right?
Oh yeah, he would absolutely. So the question was a 1 running back and 1 flex, correct?
Yeah, sounds like we all agree on Bateman. The running back options were James Robinson and Josh Jacobs. Which of those two are you
Josh
starting?
Jacobs for me. It's
Josh Jacobs for me. Dude, what about you?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were still talking about the one that has Bateman in it. What was that question?
Yeah, but you need a running back too. So James Robinson, Josh Jacobs. Which of those are you starting?
Oh, I'm starting Josh Jacobs.
Triple Josh Jacobs. Trenton in here had a trade. He said he traded Mixon for Brees and AJ Brown, non-PPR, start 8, 12 man. So Mixon for Brees and AJ Brown in a standard league. Coop, how you feeling about that one?
Sorry, I was looking at the chat talking about Shrek. Ask that one more time. Yeah, I'm just reading.
You think this would be like
Chris
an uncommon
Farley,
thing, but
Chris
this has happened
Farley
all the time.
Shrek quotes, dude. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, dude, that'd actually be kind of cool. And Maria pointed out that the fun buttons have gone up. I actually just got a text from Matt, who owns the station. He was like, "We just got so many fun button hits. This is a Shrek show now." So
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
He says it's converted.
Keith, back it up.
Back it up, Keith.
We're going a different direction.
You know what? We might as well. I think this is the perfect time to whip out my 20-minute Lord Farquaad monologue. I've got I just really go into Lord Farquaad here. I've got major problems with the way his character was represented. So are we good to start that now?
Yep.
I think that. Well, let's answer that question first. Can you give me the question one more time, and then we'll do the Farquaad
absolutely. Mixon for Brees and AJ Brown in a standard league, so non-PPR. Trenton said he traded away Mixon, got Brees and AJ Brown. How you feeling about that?
Dude, I think Mixon for AJ Brown straight up swap is pretty fair trade right now. So if you can get Brees too, that's value hunting, dog. That's value, baby.
Yeah, that's hot, Trenton. Nice
The
job.
non-PPR kind of makes this a little interesting.
Oh,
It makes it slightly more
boo,
interesting to me.
JL, boo.
Boo, JL. Boo.
We just said that's
up.
value, baby. And then you come in and you're like, I'm not quite sure about the value.
Well, guys.
Well, technically.
Hold on just 1 second,
Hey,
guys.
have you considered the format? You're right, though. We should always consider the format.
But in this
Upside is
case-
quite limited
But
in this case.
But in this case, I already gave my take before I considered the format. So
So
kind of puts me in a bit of a jam there, JL. So shut up. Gotta put me in a bit of a bind there, JL. I'm here on my day off, by the way.
That is true.
I'd like
your birthday.
I have it's my birthday bachelor party. I have today off, and I was just like, I got a couple hours to pop on the show, see what up to the hogs.
Dogs.
Let me get hogs up. Let me get hogs up in the chat and some fun. But I am going to leave within the next 20 minutes and not come back until Tuesday. Just sorry, everybody. Well, I mean, that is happening, but I wasn't even supposed to be here today. So hogs up.
It's not you. It's me.
It's not you guys. It's not the hogs, dude. That's the thing is, I'm on my.
Is it the Hoglets?
It's the hog.
Is that why you're leaving?
It's the no, dude. I'm here because I couldn't go away and take my day off without saying hi to the hogs, the hogettes, and the hoglets. Man, those are my people.
Hoglets.
We need a shirt. We need a shirt with the hoglets and hogettes shirt. We just need.
It's coming this weekend.
We need something beautiful that we can rock.
I've been thinking about it, dude. I don't know if necessarily the folks in the chat that hang out with us should be the hoglets. I think they're bona fide hogs. I don't know. What do you guys
Bona fide hogs?
Bona fide hogs.
What do y'all in the chat think? Do you guys like hogs? Do you like hoglets?
What are
you guys feeling, dude? You get to pick on this one.
Yeah, you decide. It's your name.
Yeah, call in.
And fantasy dog in the chat says, "Boo, JL." Morning.
Morning, fantasy dog.
Morning,
and
partners.
Tommy in there saying hogs. He loves the hogs.
I think that's
Tommy got big on the hog talk right away.
I think this is what it's got to be, dude. I think it's got to be the chat. We got the hogs, we got the hogettes, and then any of the kids watching the show, those are the hoglets. That's how it's got to be. That's how it's got to be, baby.
That's how it's got to be. And Maria's saying, "How is your bachelor party going to be better than this, though?" Yeah, how could a bachelor party possibly be better than this?
Doesn't make sense to me. That's why I'm here right now. I'll probably call in. I'll probably be hanging in the chat, smashing that fun button, calling up.
Just another one of the hogettes.
I'm gonna be full on hog this weekend.
Full on hog. Now you got me distracted.
I guess it's your last opportunity to.
I'm looking down here at all these comments in a swamp in a van down by the river. Just absolutely painting this image of Chris Farley as Shrek. As much as I want to keep talking about Shrek right now, guys, we got a Thursday night football game tonight. Browns versus Steelers. Both teams 1-1 coming into this game. Just some facts about this game before we get into it. Mike Tomlin has posted 15 seasons of 500 or better football. And has dominated Cleveland in that time span. 24-6-1, an 800 record against the Cleveland Browns. Coop, are we going to see that success continue for Tomlin and the Steelers tonight? The Milky Trubisky led Steelers.
I think so, man. I believe in Mike Tomlin's ability to will this team to victory, to drag this team kicking and screaming to victory. Because think about how many times those teams saw Big Ben get hurt. Like Big Ben, he played for a million years and he only played like 4 full seasons. Right? Like Mike Tomlin, the fact that he's above 500 for his career and he's never had a losing season is a testament to how good of a coach Mike Tomlin is. And he's a very different coach from my favorite coach, Bill Belichick, maybe the opposite coach. But you can be a player's coach. You can be a different kind of coach as long as you win. Man. Mike Tomlin's a winner.
Yeah. I love Mike Tomlin, and that's coming from someone who grew up as a Browns fan. I didn't always, you know what I mean? This was something I had to overcome. I had like just that built in, like this guy always kicks our ass. Oh, he's so brave. Like I was just mad, but dude, there was an interview this offseason that I watched with him. The pivot. And just like, God, I was like, you know what, Mike? I was wrong. Like, this is a good dude, a great coach. His players love him, and just look at the success he has on the field. That being said, I think this Browns team might be able to pull out the victory tonight. Nick Chubb has looked unstoppable. I know the Steelers' run defense has been great, but if they can get Nick Chubb rolling, this might be a long night for that Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Nick Chubb was a hog last week, huh?
He was a total hog.
He was the hog, really.
Yeah.
Do we believe in Mike Tomlin to get this team to 500? Like, yeah, I'm with you, Coop. If I had to make a bet right now, yes or no, will this team be at least 500? I'd say yeah. I'd bet all the dollars in my bank account on that. Not a very big bet though. JL, who do you think is going to win this game tonight? Do you think Mike Tomlin's going to find some success with this team?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Simon. Martin Luther King.
Ooh, MLK drop. So whatever team you pick wins probably. So who do you like?
Yeah. Let's see. I'll go Steelers. You guys want Steelers? I'll go Steelers too.
Classic MLK.
Let's ride.
Classic MLK drop. Like
sorry, we watched a lot of Bo Burnham.
Classic MLK
again.
smoke screen while you just like flipped a coin and picked one of those teams.
Yeah.
Just like, how can I stall?
I'm like, what are we talking about again?
The oldest trick in the book, dude.
I know what'll really throw him off for a second. Give me that extra bit of time.
Genius, bro. Gee, that's radio.
Can I say I'm a professional through and through?
This has been Shrek Talk.
Shrek Talk. You've been listening to Shrek Talk. Welcome back.
You listen to Shrek and the Hogs.
Shrek and the Hogs. Shrek Hog. That dude's a
Shrek
hog.
is definitely
Oh my
a
god.
hog, dude.
The guy invented hogs.
Donkey, hog, Farquaad, hog.
No, Farquaad is not a hog.
Gingerbread man, hog.
Farquaad's
Without a doubt.
a log for sure.
Pinocchio, log.
Total log.
Grow up,
Total
Pinocchio.
log.
Grow up.
He's such a whiny
Literal dog.
He's such a Maybe I'll watch that. That's what I'm gonna watch on the plane. Shrek 1.
Pinocchio. That's
Watch the entire Shrek
Every
franchise on the plane.
Pinocchio.
Shrek 2, Shrek 3, Shrek 4, Shrek the musical. You got to knock them all.
No, JL is a better idea. Watch all the movies in the Pinocchio verse, like all the live action ones.
Pinocchioverse?
The Pinocchioverse. They watch the
Geppetto
original.
verse?
Watch the original. The
Geppetto
puppet verse. Yeah, watch like all the terrible live action straight to DVD ones. Just like watch all those. Yeah, that's all, dude.
He becomes a boy every single time.
There surely are there surely are plenty of live action horrible like late 80s early 90s Pinocchio movies, right? Like on VHS only out there where there's some dude just with like craft paint on his arms making like the wood streaks running around acting like a puppet.
Keith just messaged us. He goes, guys, you were joking about making this a Shrek show, but now it's actually happening. Please stop.
This is not the first time this has happened, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Where does the Shrek talk come from?
The show goes where it wants, dude. I
I
don't even remember now why Shrek came up, but
one time, last Shrek story from me. We were at my sister's graduation party
for today.
Last Shrek story at this hour. The clock resets at 8 a.m. Eastern time. We were at a lake house for my sister's graduation party, and my grandma had flown in, and she was sitting in the living room. We were flipping channels, and Shrek was on, so we just left it on Shrek. And I don't know, my grandma's a very proper lady, right? Like she's very polite. She doesn't curse. She doesn't burp. You don't chew gum in her house. She's like very proper, very sweet, but very proper. And she's sitting there and all of a sudden Shrek comes up on the TV and he's like, like just like farting and burping all that. And she's like, whoo, like, what is this? Like just a little bit like shocked. We're all going out to like walk out into the backyard to hang out. And we get up and grandma doesn't stand up. And I'm like, Grandma, are you coming? She's like, no, I think I just need to finish this movie first. She got invested in Shrek. She was like, I gotta find out what happens to this ogre princess. Like, I am not leaving right now.
Shrek. And then afterwards, she's like, you know what? You guys can chew gum in the house.
She walked outside and immediately ripped one, is what she did. Grandma was like, I've seen my ways. I've seen what Shrek did.
Party, dude.
Okay, what we were talking, what's this show about again?
I have no idea.
Thursday Night Football.
I have to leave. We had an opportunity to answer some serious start sits, but now I have to go. I spent all my time talking about Shrek.
Oh man,
I do have to leave soon.
Not again.
We're skipping break. Skip break.
This always happens. Coop, you said you would pick the Steelers. The Browns are favored by 4 in this game on the FanDuel Sportsbook. 4-point favorite. It was 4.5 whenever I looked last night. Are you taking the Browns -4, or you taking the Steelers to cover that one?
Did you see the over/under on this game? This game is supposed to be
38.
terrible. This game's supposed to be terrible, bro. That's going to be the lowest of the season, probably. I mean, unless
we had that last week. We had a 38.5.
Well, it's Jacoby Brissett against
I think it was Browns Jets last week at 38.5, wasn't it?
It's Jacoby Brissett against Mitch Trubisky. I would bet the over on principle alone, right? Like at 38.5. Yeah. Give me the over just because. But I don't know. I think when games are this scrappy, division games, anyone can win. And I like the Steelers, man. I like Mitch Trubisky. I don't think it's crazy.
You might take the Steelers money line plus.
I'm calling it right now. I'm planting some flags today. And dude, starting Rashad Bateman over James Conner isn't crazy. So let's not say I'm getting crazy today. Picking the Steelers outright is a little bit out there, but I like it, man. That's what I'm going Steelers. I say take the points, sprinkle a little money on the on that money line. You know what I mean?
Sprinkle
it, dude. Jeremy Sprinkle.
You had told me back in 2016 that we would be seeing Jacoby Myers versus Mitch Trubisky.
Well, weird that we're not seeing Jacoby Myers versus Mitch Trubisky.
Jacoby Brissett versus Mitch Trubisky. I probably would have said that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
You crazy, dude. But back when Mitch Trubisky got drafted ahead of Patrick Mahomes,
it made a lot more sense. At that time, right? I think those guys are way more relevant than they are now.
Yeah, pretty weird, dude. But I mean, I will say this, dude. Just one thing I'm watching for tonight's game, since I need to talk a little football before I leave. Pat Freiermuth has, I was not on Pat Freiermuth because I was like, okay, they have Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, George Pickens has some hype. Not going to be enough targets to go around. He's been a top 2 target on this team. And when you look at the metrics that we look for elite tight ends, he's got 5 of 7 of them, right? He's playing all the snaps. He's running all the routes. He's got a massive target share. He's pretty athletic. He's got a good red zone target share. The 2 things he's missing are he still doesn't line up at wide receiver much, only 30% of his snaps. But with those 3 wide receivers, it's kind of tough for him to do that.
And he doesn't call his family enough.
And he doesn't call his family enough, dude. True. He's never sat down and watched Shrek 1 with his grandma. So, and the other thing was his low average depth of target is what it is. But he's got pretty much all those things. If this week he's a top 2 target on the team again, I'm moving him up into the elite tier with guys like Waller, George Kittle in my rankings, which is a big deal for me. I don't do that. I don't do that easily. But if he proves that he's a top 2 target on this team, there's not very few of those guys out there, right? How many tight ends lead their team in targets or at least second? I had a handful at the most. So Muth is close to being the truth, baby.
I've changed my tune on him since the beginning of the season. Week 1, I was telling everyone and their brother, sister, mother, whoever would listen to me to start Cole Kmet over Freiermuth. I feel like I think everyone in the world who drafted Freiermuth also drafted Kmet because the amount of times that I saw that question was just unbelievable. But that's not the case anymore. I'm with you, Coop. Freiermuth is in that must start tier for me unless you've got a Kelsey, Waller, Kittle. Coop, who would you rather plug into your lineup this week? Pat Freiermuth or Kyle Pitts?
Pat Freiermuth, man. Kyle Pitts, his usage got a little better this week, but 3 targets, bro. Miss me with that.
Jail, what about you? Are you following Coop down the Pat Freiermuth trail over Kyle Pitts?
Well, I can't start offensive linemen in my tight end spot, so I don't think I can start Pitts this week. I'll go with Freiermuth.
Yeah, dude.
Good one. Sick O-line right there.
Dale's trying to win fantasy games, not NFL games like Arthur Smith.
Like Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith. God, those press conferences just make me want to say, shut up. Shut up, Arthur.
Shut up.
Arthur Smith. What's his middle name? It's got to be something exotic.
Franklin, for sure.
I bet it's also Arthur.
Arthur Franklin Smith.
Arthur Franklin Smith. Without a doubt, I'm positive that his middle name is Franklin. I have nothing to base that on, but
wow, his name is Franklin.
Is it?
Oh my God, no.
So that sounds like the name of
Arthur William Smith.
Art William.
Art Billis.
Why doesn't he just go by Will Smith?
He probably should. Who picks the pictures on Wikipedia? Because they're always the worst picture of whoever.
Oh, I do that. I do that.
It looks like a mole.
That's you, Simon. You're the one that's
me.
Them?
At night, that's you guys. I'm one of the top contributors for Wikipedia, but all I do is go into articles and pick slightly less flattering photos for people. Like I'll go in there and be like, oh, Miranda Cosgrove looks too good in this photo. We got to pick a bad one. Throw it in there. I took care of Arthur Smith a couple days ago. Hit Tom Brady. I always go with that one where he looks like a skeleton.
The terrifying one with the eyes?
Yeah, the one with the eyes. Yeah. As opposed to the non-terrifying one where he doesn't have eyes.
Yeah, that one, man.
I will say for Arthur Smith, he's doing the real smart thing here because, I mean, there's a long history of coaches going 0-2 and then getting real snippy with the media and that working out really well. So good for Arthur Smith, right? Good job, dude. We love those clips, right? They are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook. That's exactly what you want to do is go out with a nice legacy of really snippy clips before you get fired, dude. So
exactly. At least then you have a legacy, right?
Yeah. Good job, Arthur. Yeah. Something for us to play on the radio.
Keith in here saying before he left his last company, he made himself the CEO in the Wikipedia page. That sounds about right.
Yeah,
Keith.
after he left his last company.
Will you be the CEO of
Right.
Burger King, Keith?
Yes, CEO of Keith LLC.
In this game tonight, also we talked about the total being set at 38.5. Coop, you said that you were likely going to take the over on that. JL, you taking the over, the under on this unbelievably low line of 38.5 points?
Hey, they smashed that over last week. Give me the over. Cleveland Browns, Steelers. This is about to be a 70-point game. Let's go.
You really what's more fun? You got to think about that. Are you really going to sit there and be like, this game's supposed to suck? I'm going to root for it to be even worse than that.
Yeah.
I'm going to root for this Browns game to suck. Thursday night football, right? Like
Thursday night football. There's injuries for both teams on the defensive front. We know TJ Watt is out. That helps the Browns offense. But then on the Browns side, Jadeveon Clowney and Chase Winovich are both out this week as well. This game, I think, could have more points than maybe we're expecting. Like, the defenses aren't going to be as stout as they should be because of injuries. And we might start to see some things rolling. I mean, if the Jets and Joe Flacco can get going against this Browns defense, maybe Milky Trubisky can get something going a little bit. Maybe he can brew up a nice treat over there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Something a little milky and creamy for
I
all
love
those
I love
Steelers
that
fans.
there's got to be a good percentage of people who have come in recently for the first time and without any context heard us call him Milky Trubisky, and they just rolled with it.
You know exactly who I'm talking about if I say Milky Trubisky.
People pop in and they hear you call Joe Flacco a hog and hear Simon talk about Milky
like,
Trubisky serving cream sauce. Like,
serving cream sauce all over Shrek.
No, I can't say that. I'm taking the over on that one as well.
Can't say that.
Yeah, no, you can't say that.
Yeah, Fantasy Dog just requesting that I do impressions of coach clips. Playoffs? You were talking playoffs? Yeah, how was that?
We have to do that 100%. That's such a good idea. That's such a good idea.
That was pretty good, Coop. Guys, we had some questions in the chat right here. Fantasy Dog, woof, woof, wanted to know full PPR pick 2. Deontay Johnson, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, Gabriel. No, which Samuel is that? Is that Deebo Samuel, think, or Gabriel
It wouldn't
Davis?
be a question if it was Deebo Samuel.
Curtis Samuel. I bet it's Curtis Samuel.
Yes.
That would make a lot more sense.
Could be
Deontay
Samuel
Johnson,
Beckett.
Christian Kirk, Curtis Samuel, Gabriel Davis, full PPR. He needs 2 of them. Coop, which 2 of those 4 are you choosing?
Dude, I can't go away from Christian Kirk right now. So he's got to be one of them. Man. His target share is immense. This is probably not a great matchup for Deontay Johnson. What were the last 2?
Curtis Samuel, Gabriel Davis. Then Christian Kirk was in there as well.
Wow, this is crazy. I kind of like Curtis. I kind of like Curtis Samuel and Logan Thomas this week. The Eagles' defense is a classic like pass funnel where they have 2 good corners on the outside and it kind of forces everything over the middle of the field. In full PPR, I would start Curtis Samuel and Christian Kirk. And as crazy as that sounds, I wouldn't start Deontay Johnson in this game tonight. That's going to have a 38-point over/under, where the Browns are probably just going to run the ball and win. Even though I picked the Steelers, like that's the most likely actual outcome.
You don't want to start Gabriel Davis against the Dolphins?
He's banged up. If he wasn't hurt, then it would be a different story. But it's like when you have that many options, I am not going to start the guy who could be limited with an injury.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I'm going Curtis Samuel and Christian Kirk as well. Christian Kirk's earned that. Like through 2 weeks, it looks like he's the dude that you got to start. JL, which 2 are you going with?
I'm gonna go Kirk, and I'm gonna go. Do we get a format on this by chance?
PPR.
In full PPR.
Yes.
Oh, that kind of switches things a little bit for me. I'm gonna definitely lock in Christian Kirk, so we're all in agreement there. And then I'm gonna go Deontay Johnson.
Nerd.
Take the easy and probably correct answer.
Ooh, JL.
You're just phone it in, trying to be right, JL. While Coop and I are over here
Let's
trying to
all
be
go
a little bit exciting.
But everything I said, I truly believe about that Eagles defense, and we've seen it before. That's why I especially like Logan Thomas this week. I'm starting Logan Thomas over guys like Evan Ingram, who I like, but with Evan Ingram, I'm just a little worried about Derwin James, dude. He freaking suplexed our tight end hero last week, Travis Kelce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no way Evan's gonna be able to handle that. His fragile body.
I know, dude. Like, yeah, he has a hard enough time staying healthy as it is without, Captain Insano poking his eyes out. Whatever's going to happen this weekend. You know what I mean? Like, Derwin James is amazing, bro. He's like legit, might be the best safety in the league. He just gets hurt all the time.
And Evan Ingram needs his eyes. Like, if he's going to poke his eyes out, I just can't imagine he'd be nearly as good of a player if he didn't have them.
He has trouble catching as it is, my boys. Like, he needs those eyes.
Maybe it goes like full Daredevil if he does lose his eyes. Oh, God, I hope he doesn't lose his eyes this weekend after we just said that so many times. Can you imagine having to come in on Monday and it's like the news is like, Jacksonville Jaguars tight end Evan Ingram has lost his
Suddenly
eyes.
lost his eyes.
Shrek
misplaced his eyes.
Shrek show predicts Evan Ingram to lose. Shrek enthusiasts.
Self-proclaimed Shrek experts.
So
Shrekexperts.
Shrek. Damn it! I heard it after I said it.
Oh, you got it.
Oh God, I give up, man.
All right, I got 8 o'clock, guys. I do got to go. This is my day off, and I still came to work because that's the kind
Happy
of dude
birthday,
I
dude.
am, dude. Happy birthday to me. Wedding birthday. So thank you guys for letting me pop in, be a guest today. And shout out to all my hogs, my hogettes, my hoglets. I hope you guys all crush this weekend. Still hit me up on Twitter with start sits, whatever you guys got going on. But cheers, guys. I'm gonna be calling in. Don't worry, you'll hear from me again.
Hey, Coop, hogs up, bro.
Hogs up.
Hogs up.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna miss you so much.
I'll be right.
Hogs up, baby. Enjoy your birthday, Coop. It's gonna be a great one. I know it.
Dude, you guys are so stupid. Now I'm getting happy birthdays in the chat.
Because it's so stupid.
Yeah, the worst.
Hey, shout out Coop. Send him some birthday praise. He's gonna need it this weekend.
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys are the best, dude. Yeah, I just take 5 days off for my birthday.
Every year, it's a birth week, is what you're celebrating.
Birth month, bro. My birthday is May 31st, so technically my birthday happens, and then June is my entire birth month.
And
I
then
also
September
celebrate.
happens, and it's also your birth
It's
month.
also it's like this is my quarter birthday, my quartennial birthday. So okay. Okay,
Coop,
bye.
enjoy your bachelor party this weekend. We will see you on Tuesday, but I'm sure we'll see you calling in. Until then, everybody watching, make sure you wish Coop happy birthday and a happy bachelor party. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Better Sports Network.
I gotta tell this story, okay? So we're out in Canton, Ohio, and we decide to go eat late at night, like after midnight. We decide to go to the Waffle House. Somehow, Fensty's never been there, even though he lives near it. I'm in New York, New Jersey. There's no Waffle House close by. So if you go to the Waffle House, what are you going to eat more than likely? Pancakes, waffles, eggs, and all that, right? So, of course, our guy Rich, he gets breakfast. I get breakfast. Fensty doesn't. He's never been to a Waffle House. How do you not have waffles? Like, it makes no sense.
Dude, there's a time for
Eat
waffles.
breakfast at midnight. Come on, man.
That's the thing. I didn't want breakfast, man. I got like, what was it, like a cheesesteak sandwich or something like that?
That's like someone who has never been to IHOP going there and ordering a burger. Who does that?
That I wouldn't do. That I would not.
That's
Well, first
the
of all, I wouldn't
equivalent of what you did. Well, I don't even know what you had.
I got this steak sandwich, which was
Steak
excellent, by
sandwich
the way.
at the Waffle House. Never been there, and that's what you get. You're an odd guy, man. You're an
I'm
odd
not an
guy.
odd guy. I
Yes,
didn't
you are.
breakfast.
Can we get a vote? Can we get a vote in the chat, please? I mean, if you've never been to Waffle House and you get a steak wrap, something's wrong with you, right? Don't you have to get waffles and eggs and bacon and all that? It's the Waffle House.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It was my first time, okay? Ordering the hash browns was already complicated enough. Smothered and covered, and it's almost like it's crazy how much combinations you can have. And I know that everybody's killing me for it right now. And no, to our producers, I don't get pasta at a
he does.
steakhouse or anything like that.
Chicken
No,
Alfredo, that's what he gets at the
Bro,
steakhouse.
do you follow me on Instagram? I'm always on that grill. You know how much I love steak. Why would I go to a steakhouse and get pasta?
Because you go to Waffle House to get steak wraps. That's why.
I didn't know it was all waffles, bro. I thought it had like a little bit of everything. That's why. You know, I didn't realize they were famous for waffles. Hey, look. You know,
the name of the place is the Waffle House. What else would they be famous for?
You know what? That's fine. I guess it's a hot take getting a steak sandwich. As long as it was good, I housed that thing in 10 seconds.
Okay, you were never there, and that's the first time. You're not going to try a waffle? Do you admit it was a mistake?
I don't really like waffles.
Call, chat, enter contests in real time. It's Sports Talk 3.0 with Better Sports Network.
Hoglets are like onions. They stink? Yes. No. They make you cry. No. Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs. No. Lookers.
What's up, everyone? You're listening to the Shrek Show, aka the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
We are your Shrek experts.
We are your Shrek experts, Simon and John Luke.
So weird.
A Shrek expert. It feels like a sexpert. You know what I mean? Like it's like a sex therapist, but you're a Shrek therapist.
because of the KS making the X sound, it definitely sounds way worse than a Shrekspert. Like a singular Shrekspert sounds way more innocuous than like Shrekspurts.
One Shrekspert is not concerning, but if you have multiple Shrekspurts in one area, all of a sudden,
yeah, you better run.
It is absolutely a problem if there's two Shreksperts. Watch out. Jordan
Can you
Vanek
believe
in the
this
chat.
is our life?
No.
I'm up at 8 a.m. on a freaking Thursday talking about Shrek.
Talking Shrek and Hogs.
28
baby.
years old.
We're talking about Shrek's
28-year-old
Hog at
YouTuber.
8 a.m. in the morning. And then my mom calls me afterwards. This is a real phone call for the work that I do. She calls me and goes, I really loved the butt Spider-Man conversation that you had on the radio. Like she calls me.
Good.
She's so proud of me for talking about butt Spider-Man on the radio.
Maria and I always do did you ever watch the Simpsons movie back in the day when we were like in middle school when that came out?
Spider
and it's like the Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does. So last night I'm taking Rosie out. I'm like, I don't remember how to say it. I was like, and then the next line of it is, I did it, but I was like, Rosie, and then I was like, the next line is, does she swing from a web? Yes, she does, from her butt. And Maria just from across the house goes, no,
she doesn't.
Yeah.
Yes, she does. She's a spider dog. Jordan, what's up? I see you in the chat over there. Welcome, man. He had a question for us, JL. Keep trade cut. DJ Moore jersey signed. Amari Cooper jersey signed. Or JL's trophy. Which it's not your trophy. It's my trophy.
Shh.
It's my trophy.
Shut your mouth.
You just have it back there. I'm the champion, JL.
Shut your mouth. You shut your mouth.
So here's my answer. I'm answering for you because you have some of my property. You're trading my trophy to me, okay? So you can pick whether you want to keep or cut the other two, but you're trading me my trophy.
Okay, that's fair. I'll let you pick just the trophy one.
Okay.
But I'm not going to actually do that at all. I'm going to cut the trophy because you're not going to give me anything for that trophy because you already feel like it is rightfully yours. So I'm not going to get anything. I'm just going to cut that bad boy. And I'm just going to assume you're going to pick it up off the waivers. I'm going to trade the Amari Cooper jersey and I'm going to keep the DJ Moore jersey. And I'm going to trade the Amari Cooper jersey to you for that trophy.
Okay. And then we end up back where we started, except my DJ Moore jersey's cut in half on the floor. So this seems like an awful deal.
So in this whole exchange, you're sending me a DJ Moore jersey, basically.
Yeah, perfect. I have my Amari Cooper jersey. What a great question, Jordan. Just really made me
Jordan just looking at things around the room to bring up.
And Tommy Down, you're saying spin-off show for Ogars that have intimacy issues.
Ogars.
An Ogar that has intimacy issues.
Ogre.
JL, I did want to talk a little bit about some of the fantasy options from this Thursday night football game as people are making these start-sit decisions today. We'll start. Oh, you're good. Okay, never mind. We'll just move on then. Talk a little bit more Shrek. On the Pittsburgh Steelers side of this ball, let's start at the quarterback position. Are you starting Milky Trubisky in any formats?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Listen, there are leagues that are deep enough that you got to start Mitch Trubisky, and you got to do what you got to do, and don't let anybody shame you for it. Coop will try to shame you for it, but don't. Otherwise, I don't think Mitch Trubisky is gonna even probably crack the top, like the top 24 at the position this week. So I'm not starting him if I don't have to.
Yeah, unless it's like a true emergency situation, I'm not plugging Mitch Trubisky in. Coop said, what does any of this have to do with Shrek? We're getting there. Don't worry. Wait for the tie-in of the century.
It's a long
Coop.
thread, but it's going to be worth it.
It's going to all come back to Shrek. Wait for this callback.
Would you start Baker against the New Orleans Saints, or would you start Milky Trubisky?
Who?
Bakey or Milky?
Don't say Bakey. Do not call.
You gotta pick one.
Joe, if you called him Bakey to his face, he would immediately punch you in the stomach. Like
I
without
don't
a
believe
doubt
it.
in my
I feel
mind.
like he's non-confront or like non-confrontational to your face. Like he says stuff at press conferences, but he won't say it to your face.
No,
He didn't look at us.
actually, you're right. You would show up at home and all of a sudden you'd see Baker Mayfield just slamming a Carolina Panthers flag into your front yard and then screaming hogs out and running all the way
Hogs
back to
out.
Charlotte. He's sprinting from Charlotte to Baltimore.
Call me Bakey one more time.
Yeah, I'm going. I'll go Baker in that situation. I'll take Baker there, but it's close, and you are not happy with that decision.
No, I'm not.
The other players on the Pittsburgh Steelers, Najee Harris with the foot issue. Are you trusting him against this Browns defense? You gotta, right?
You gotta. It's Najee Harris. You gotta start him. I know a lot of people are concerned. I know they are worried. I know there are other synonyms for concerned and worried that they are feeling right now. Listen, you just gotta ride it out. We're only through 2 weeks. 2 weeks of 17. We got this. I was thinking about this whole like overreaction to 2 weeks of data last night. And the way I was just kind of like trying to visualize it was essentially like the way people are panicking right now is they see a cliff. But what they don't see is right beyond the cliff is a whole other hill, a whole nother mountain. So like just got to wait it out and see what you have in Najee Harris. He's still very talented. His offense sucks. His offense sucks. We knew that. You can't trade away Najee Harris. What do you get for Najee Harris that's going to make it worth it at this point?
Scraps? I don't know. Yeah, like
are scraps worth it? You're going to trade scraps for Najee?
You're trading him at low value. This is not the time to trade Najee, and you got to keep plugging him into your lineup. Like unless I say this every time with wide receivers, but unless you like, I don't know, in the second and third rounds drafted running backs as well that you're very comfortable with. But even then, he's probably finding his way into your flex. Like I can't imagine a situation where you have Najee Harris and you're not starting Najee Harris this week.
You're going to feel like a Dingle McCringle if Najee Harris just blows up on your bench.
But Tommy brought up a good point. Who's the backup running back in Pitt? Looking for any deep sleeper in DFS? Any other place? So we got Jalen Warren looking like the most likely backup. They also got Benny Snell on that team. But yeah, if you're looking for like that DFS, like sneaky play that maybe people aren't putting in their lineups, you could throw some Jalen Warren in there. Maybe Najee's not ready to go. Maybe we're surprised and the Steelers go up big early and they start plugging in Jalen Warren to keep Najee healthy because of the foot issues.
We haven't seen Jalen Warren really get much volume at all. And if like, all the reasons that we're worried about Najee Harris, they're all the same for Jalen Warren in terms of he's on the same team. He's in the same offense. He's running behind the same offensive line. Week 1, he had 3 attempts for 7 yards. Week 2, he had 4 attempts for 15 yards. A target in each of the games. Didn't catch week 1's target. Week 2, he caught it, but no yards. It's just he's not being used enough for it to be worth it for me.
I mean, I'm not saying he's worth it. This is a deep sleeper in DFS, right? Like I'm not plugging him in any sort of like
sleep
redraft lineups or sleep number lineups or anything like that. But in DFS, especially on these 1-game slates, to really differentiate yourself, to have a shot at being that top dog, not just someone who cashes, right? You got to submit some lineups with maybe some deeper plays that just have a shot at hitting. And Jalen Warren, if he is the backup, has a shot at hitting. We had another question from Tommy in here, JL, said, what is Shrek's favorite football team?
Ooh.
A great question, isn't it?
I like Coop's answer here. He said the Denver Donkeys. Ooh, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something clever. I'm just too stupid.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something as well. And the first thing that came to mind immediately, it was like I pulled a Coop yesterday. It was like, oh, the Jets. Because of green, because Shrek
because
is
of
green.
Yeah,
because of green,
naturally,
Shrek and the Jets. But I'm trying to think like, man, Shrek really likes being left alone, right? Like he's not a big fan of all this other stuff. He likes the swamp. What's the closest team to a swamp? The Dolphins?
Jacksonville.
The Saints? The Saints are pretty close to a swamp.
They're pretty
Shrek is a Saints fan, isn't he? I feel like Shrek is absolutely a Saints
cool
fan.
for Shrek, I feel like Shrek can't be bothered to be a Saints fan.
No, he's a Saints fan. He's a little bit petty.
Standoffish.
No, he's petty. He's petty. Remember, like whenever they dropped all the fairy tale creatures off at his swamp, he didn't let that go. He marched all the way to solve that problem. Like he's like the Saints making cakes after the Falcons blow a lead. Like Shrek, this is making more and more sense.
That's a good
Randy
question. I
Page
love
in
that.
here saying came for Garrett Wilson. Haven't heard anything yet. Yeah, we were just talking Shrek here this morning. Garrett Wilson, hog, absolute hog. No, but truly, Garrett Wilson, get him on your fantasy teams if you can. He's an ascending superstar, and hopefully we see more of this.
What do you think this week for Garrett Wilson? How are you feeling about his matchup? Just quickly touch on that before going back to the other game.
Yeah, the Jets are playing. Who do they got this week? Who do the Jets have this week? The Bengals.
Jets have the Cincinnati Bengals.
They're continuing their tour. What they had the Browns last week, Bengals this week, Steelers next week. I was confusing what order they were playing the AFC North teams in, but I mean, I think you could see another good week from Garrett Wilson, especially if the Jets keep throwing the ball like this. Now, to expect what we saw last week is insane, right? Like, you can't expect multi-touchdown performances, especially from a rookie wide receiver on the Jets, with Joe Flacco throwing him the ball week in, week out. But his volume seems to be safe. He seems to be a trusted option for Joe Flacco. And until Joe Flacco's not starting anymore, I think Garrett Wilson is he's a start. You plug him in your lineups. And then even when Zach Wilson comes back, I'm probably still plugging him in. I just want to see it with Zach Wilson. I want to see it before I have that confidence.
There's definitely have to wait and see with the Zach Wilson transition, how that'll affect him. He's not, like you said, he's not going to get 2 touchdowns every week. So you gotta factor that in. But his usage on this offense is very promising. He's getting 40, just in this past week, he got 42% of the wide receiver yards, according to the Fantasy Footballers research on their site. And he's also commanding 58% of the targets last week. That's a jump up from the week before, where he was only getting 27% of the targets amongst wide receivers on the team. So it is a small sample size for Garrett Wilson, but the reason that everybody's so excited is the rookie factor, right? The upside. And so you got to buy in on him. If you have a better option this week, that I'm totally fine benching him this week, but long term, you gotta be up on Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I agree with you. I see Sir Plant in the chat saying Shrek team name, because Tommy asked, what is his fantasy football team name? He said Russ and Butt.
Who let you out, Sir Plant?
Russ in Boots. Get back in your planter right this
That's actually
instant.
pretty good. It's pretty good, Sir Plant.
Russ in Boots is absolutely pretty
It's really good. It's really good.
Also, Tim said still the Jets. Let's breathe for a second. It's just the Jets. Tim's been pushing this all off season. Calm down on the Garrett Wilson. But hey, you can have good fantasy players on bad teams. And this Jets team won a game. They're not 0-2. They got a win against the Cleveland Browns last week. Excuse me right there. My apologies for that.
Burp Thursday.
JL, anybody else on the Steelers side? We talked Pat Freiermuth. Are you excited about starting any of these receiving options? Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, George Pickens. And if you're not excited, are there any that you're likely still plugging into your lineups?
Yeah, I've answered the previous start sit with a Deontay Johnson, so I'm totally fine throwing him in my lineup. I view him as a back end wide receiver 2 this week. Anybody else?
Bonk. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
It's Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth. Those are the names you're looking at on the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend. For Deontay Johnson, I am not excited. I'm not looking forward to starting him. And on the Brown side of the ball, Jacoby Brissett, you can plug him in if you need to, but it's similar to the other guys. Maybe the floor is a little bit safer. I don't think he's going to be chucking the ball around. He's not going to probably have as high of a chance for turnovers because the Browns just want to run the ball. They just want to run the ball straight down the Pittsburgh Steelers' throat, have Nick Chubb get yeah, I heard it, JL. You were about to mock me for saying throat.
Didn't say anything.
I saw it on your face.
I didn't say anything.
Your face went, he said
my
throat.
face is dumb and it lies.
Well, your face was going to make fun of me for saying throat. No, but they're going to want to run the ball with Nick Chubb. Jacoby Brissett's a super low upside, but fairly safe floor kind of play this week. I'm starting Nick Chubb. I'm starting Amari Cooper. And I'm fine starting Kareem Hunt.
Kareem?
Yeah, we can start some Kareem Hunt as well. I said earlier that I like Kareem Hunt in this matchup.
Yeah. I like all of these guys who aren't named Jacoby Brissett. Which is kind of funny, I guess.
And maybe
you think I'd like Jacoby Brissett if I like these other guys, but I think what you said, they're going to make this work on the ground. It's not going to be Jacoby Brissett's not going to be the guy that is just passing 60 times a game, 50 times a game.
Also, Fantasy Dogs, I gotta go. Love all y'all. See ya later, Fantasy Dogs. Enjoy your day.
Thanks for hanging out with us this morning. You got lots of busy things to do.
Dogs have
look
busy
outside,
lives.
nap.
Greet everyone that walks by your house loudly. Make sure you say hello to everybody. JL, we had a couple questions in the chat that I wanted to make sure we answered.
Questions.
Albert, what's up, Albert? Good morning, my friend. He said Christian
morning,
Kirk
Albert.
or Rashad Bateman, full PPR.
Ooh, Coop would love this question.
Coop in the Hogs.
Because he just spent 40 minutes talking up Christian Kirk. I think Coop might be the biggest Christian Kirk stan between all of us on the show, easily.
Yeah. Dale, and just so you know, the matchups, the Jaguars are playing the Chargers and the Ravens are playing the Pats, the Patriots.
Oh boy. Coop was saying oh buddy. Rashad Bateman, I am hyped on. I'm still gonna play Christian Kirk over Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman, he's like, I love Rashad Bateman's talent. I love his opportunity this year. He's not gonna be the guy that's producing, you're getting you 20 fantasy points every single week. He's just the way this offense works, he's not going to be featured in every single game. Christian Kirk has been pretty consistently featured. He seems like the guy there. He seems to be standing out amongst the other options. I'll go Christian Kirk.
And I'll go Rashad Bateman. Oh, how the turntables turn.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going Rashad Bateman on this one. We had another question in here from Emily. Good morning, Emily. Welcome in. Emily,
good morning,
Tua
Emily.
Or Lamar with an ouched elbow? Lamar without an elbow.
An ouched elbow. I love
Don't get me wrong. I love Tua, but give me Lamar. Lamar's the dude you drafted to be the dude. I don't care if his elbows are gone and all of a sudden his arms just turn into straight sticks that are unbendable.
Still be QB1.
Oh, he could still be the QB1 on the week without an idea.
Yeah, 400 rushing yards, no passing yards. He would still somehow figure out a way to get passing yards. He'd kick it or something.
You know what he would do? It's the full spin move. You got to make sure the offensive line is really on it, but it's like the hammer throw style where you just stick your arm straight out and you just spin in a circle as fast as you can. And then on the release, it's all about that tangent line. It's got to be on the right tangent line. And then you just release on the spin. Ball goes flying down the field.
Line.
I bet you could get some real distance if you did that right.
I think you could. You think we should pitch it to Lamar?
Do you think NFL quarterbacks practice the situation in case their elbows disappear?
I think so. You got to be prepared. You're a professional.
Yeah. Are you a pro? Come on, Baker. Throw without your elbows.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Your ouched elbows. Yeah, I'm going Lamar as well. This is not a time to try and, just because Tua had an amazing week this past week, he's not going to do that every single week. Simon and I have been high on Tua since the offseason. But he's going against Buffalo. He's going against the best defense in the NFL right now. It's going to be a tougher matchup for him than Baltimore. And Baltimore they have a great defense. Buffalo's is probably better.
Yeah, Buffalo's is probably better.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to watch this Dolphins-Bills game. Like I can't wait. I feel like it's going to be like the
Dolphins are just like the
it's like the what if team.
Right
it's the what if team. It's the
Tim Wright team.
It's the could be like it's the team where everyone's going maybe maybe they could be the team.
They got the look, they got the vibe. They just need a little bit of razzle dazzle.
Dolphins Ravens game was the most aesthetically fun football game I've watched because the Dolphins were wearing their blues, right?
Yeah.
Neither team had their whites on. They had the blues with the orange, and the Ravens are running around in bright purple. And just on the field was just like this cacophony of beautiful colors, just absolutely incredible. And Tim in the chat saying, "Go Fins, too fast, so fast, speed." That's how I imagine it has to be said. Everybody, if you're enjoying what we're doing over here and you want to hang out with us some more, there's an easy way to do that. Head on over to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy and hit that subscribe button. We play game shows over there, release videos to help you guys win your championships, and just a little bit of nonsense like you see on the morning. Lots of Shrek talk.
More FYF, which is everybody needs a little bit more FYF in their life,
A little bit more FYF.
Just a little bit more Simon, JL, a little bit of Coop, a little dash of Joey. No J.
Just a sprinkle in. Some J-Wall, some J-Wall sprinkled on top.
Sprinkle J-Wall.
A little bit of J-Wall in my life.
Nope.
Guys, you are listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Collectible moments.
Everybody up here at U.S. Cellular. Sox 5 runs, 6 hits. The 2-1 to Bartlett. Swing shot to short. Ramirez has it, throws. Burley picks the perfect game. His second no-hitter. People going crazy here at US Cellular. He's mobbed by his teammates. A perfecto.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right out, 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the impounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up to him. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left.
Out of the I formation on first down. Peterson to carry, looking for running room on the right side. Has it to the 25, across the 30, across the 35, and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Adrian Peterson has just gone over 2,000 yards for the season. The 7th man in NFL history to cross the 2,000-yard mark.
Well, a thundering ovation for number 66, Mario Lemieux.
Just the emotion I'm sure Mario is feeling in this place. You don't appreciate something until it's gone, and it's so great to have Mario back.
Yager turns around. Over to Lemieux.
Mario Lemieux, his first goal in his comeback here tonight at the Mellon Arena. And the Penguins lead 3-0, and he is smiling like a butcher's dog. Mario Lemieux.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. The Bears have scored, but the Bands are out on the field.
Pearson moves in front of the STP Dodge. Petty comes back to the inside. They almost touch as they move down low in the bank, and they're going to be side by side as they exit the bank and head for the finish line.
Richard Petty goes back in front. They both spin. They're in the wall. Petty is sliding, slamming into the wall. He's coming down toward the finish line. Will he make it? Pearson is still running. The winner is car number 21. An amazing finish. Richard Petty's car demolished the front end, as well as car number 21. An unbelievable finish, a terrible crash. David Pearson has won the Daytona 500. Leitner catches, comes down, dribbles, shoots, scores! Christian Leitner has hit the bucket at the buzzer! Pitched by Downey, swinging, there's a drive into left center field. That ball is gonna be out of here. It's gone. It's 7-15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
The most valuable player is Magic Johnson. 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. He starts at center, plays forward and guard, and leads the Los Angeles Lakers to a world championship 123-107 over Philadelphia.
Whether you collect sports memorabilia, fantasy championships, or winning bet slips, talk about it on Better Sports Network.
He's to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown!
Touchdown! We are back here on the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Shrek and the Hogs. The Shrekexperts are back here on Better Sports Network. Jill, that was such a good Shrek impression. Just incredible.
The only word I can do in a Shrek voice. I can't do any other words for whatever reason.
I've gotten so in my head with accents, Jill. I went right there to say, get out of my swamp, and I couldn't do it. Like
you were the last person I would ever think would face this type of performance anxiety.
This has never happened to me before.
This is
I swear.
You just
I
need to
swear
like
this
go
never
the other way.
happens. It never happens. It's natural. It happens to guys sometimes. Okay. Sometimes we just can't perform on the spot.
It happens to guys sometimes, but not the good ones. So you gotta get you back and right, Simon. You gotta get you back up to fighting weight.
Okay. I'm gonna work on it tonight. I'm gonna stand
go the
in
other
the
way.
mirror.
You just gotta say something really stupid right now. And first thing that comes to your mind. Say it. Say it.
Animal piss. I don't know. Why did that come out?
I know the point of the exercise was to be like, this is a safe space. Just didn't think you'd say that.
Yeah, me neither. You by saying say whatever you want. I feel like internally I had some sort of pressure to say something that I like normally feel like I shouldn't say here.
But look, nothing happened. Nobody kicked us off.
Tim said Simon straight to jail. I think
straight to jail.
I think Randy Page, who was in here just hearing about Garrett Wilson, he's like, okay, animal piss is where I draw the line. I was fine with the Shrek talk. I was fine with the hog talk. Oh, cops are on the way, Joe. We better hurry into and Eric's leaving. Fantasy Nav's heading out. Okay, we'll stick to Shrek. And we are going to play some hypothetically a little bit different version today, JL, because you're not only going to be asking the questions, but you're going to be playing along with me. You got to answer the questions that you're asking to me. And everybody watching, if you want to play some hypothetically, if we ask one of these questions, you're like, oh, I got to get in on this. Oh, they are missing the point of this Would You Rather. They are completely missing it. Hit that call in button. Join us on air and play some hypothetically with us.
Yeah, I know you all have been watching Coop play this, and it's just been killing you to watch him just fumble every single one of these. So please, come on, take Coop's spot. Audition. We will likely replace him permanently with you if you impress us. So hit that call button.
And if you do well enough, we'll replace me as well.
And me too.
Tomorrow it's
just, in from now on.
Tomorrow it's Tommy, Eric, and Fantasy Dog just on the show.
And Hal.
Oh God, we don't stand a chance if Hal calls in. That dude's the man.
This is so unrelated. I can't like get it out of my head. Hal sounds like a friend of ours is from the industry, Ryan Benini. And every single time he comes on the show, I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're Ryan. Like, I'm pretty sure you're just catfishing me right now. Like, that's how similar he sounds.
And what's funny is that's totally something Ryan Benini would do.
Right.
Like he would 100% pretend to be someone else. Like nothing weird about it. Just like, my name's Hal. And
yeah,
my
like
name is
a medium long-term prank is like right up his alley.
A medium long-term prank. What would be another medium long-term prank? Like,
cutting someone's fingernails too short.
You replace someone's Splenda with Zevia and you don't tell them for like 6 months and they've been eating Zevia extract instead of Splenda
switch
the whole time.
The scoring in your league and you change it from PPR to 0.9 PPR.
0.99 PPR. Oh, suck it, guys. I think they figured that one out pretty quickly whenever someone caught a 10-yard pass and their score was 1.99 instead of 2. Like what's going on here? JL, do you have our first hypothetically for us?
Oh, yes, I do. So if this is your first time listening, hypothetically is a game that we adapted for this show. It is very simple. Very simple. I have a list of prompts. They are hypothetical situations. They are philosophical questions. They're just tricky situations. We got some sticky biz in these prompts. And so we are going to go through each prompt and we are going to dissect it and answer it. The only rule, the one and only rule, is that you must overthink the absolute hell out of each of these prompts. Can you do that for me, Simon?
Absolutely. Don't worry, Joe. Right. I have one mode and one mode only, and it's overthink everything.
And no accents.
That's not a permanent mode. That's a temporary mode.
Temporary mode. All right. Well, here is our first prompt, Simon. You're going to be answering this one first. But as always, I ask that you ask clarification questions. You explore this prompt before answering, and we'll do that together. All right. Here's the first prompt. Would you rather every single time you drink coffee, you have a flashback to an embarrassing moment in your life, or you have to smoke a cigar every single time you eat a meal?
Oh, God.
So would you rather every time you drink coffee, you have a flashback to an embarrassing moment in your life, one that you regret, or you have to smoke a cigar every single time you eat a meal?
Now, here's the problem. I'm not embarrassed easily, JL. Like I'm pretty hard to embarrass, right?
On the show.
I'm pretty hard to embarrass, but when I have been embarrassed, it has been bad. It has been really, really bad. And I don't drink coffee often either, but like I do not want to be reminded of those moments over and over and over again. Ooh, I got to think on this one for a moment.
Listen, these embarrassing moments. Holy hell! Dear Lord.
Sir Plant.
Sir Plant, what's up? Welcome in.
Oh my God. I had no idea.
I had to Sir Plant Coop.
Sir Plant Coop. Thank you for coming in.
I had no idea you had an accent. I just assumed American. Where's that accent from, Sir Plant?
England.
Nowhere. England,
an English accent, of course. Sir Plant with the monocle, but it's early in the morning. You don't have to have your monocle on yet. You're probably not reading anything here.
Looks like you could use some LASIK.
This is absolutely
terrifying. Thanks. Coming from a vegetarian, I didn't think that you'd be coming in hot like that.
Wow, coming in with the vegetarian slander.
You think it's okay to eat my people?
I brought you into this world, Sir Plant. I can take you out just as easily. Keep that in mind.
Hey. Whoa.
Let's move on to the hypothetical.
Sir Plant, what do you think on this one? JL, give him the prompt.
All right, Sir Plant, would you rather every single time you drink coffee, you have a flashback to an embarrassing moment in your life, which is probably every moment, or you have to smoke a cigar every single time you eat a meal. And it's a big.
I already smoke cigars with every meal, so that's not a problem.
Hog.
Hog.
Plant hog.
Here's what
Try
I'm
eating
doing.
hog sometime.
Yeah, JL. Gotcha. Vegetarian burn, idiot.
You know, I am the most self-conscious about my vegetarianism, and this is really it's just hitting a nerve, guys. Hitting a nerve. Oh,
Didn't know plants could talk, did you?
I did not. Did not. Wish they would shut up. Simon.
I love you, Sir Plan. I know you and JL got some beef, but
I didn't know we had beef until this show, until this moment.
It's because you don't have beef.
You son, I hate this. I'm
gotcha.
I'm joining Coop at the bachelor party.
Here's what I'm doing, Sir Plant. I'm going to tell you guys why I can't have this, because sitting here in this moment, just having this prompt jail made me relive my maybe most embarrassing moment. Like, it hurt. And then I got Tim in the chat throwing a little bit at it. And guys, you're going to judge me for this one. Like, I know there's going to be some judgment, but that's okay. I'm going to throw it out there for everyone. And this is why I have to pick the cigar, even though smoking a cigar like seems like a good idea every time. And then 3 puffs in, you're like, oh God, I'm going to taste this for 8 days. Like this is just going to live in my mouth. In college, I was talking to a girl, right? Like this girl, we'd been talking, we weren't dating, but a big part of her life was her involvement with the Make-A-Wish. Was her involvement with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Like she was a childhood cancer survivor and she got heavily involved with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, right?
Oh my God. You're telling this story?
She got really involved with this. She had written a book for it, had it published, like just it was a major part of who she was. It was really cool. Like it was an awesome thing about her. And she was super passionate about it. One day during finals week, she asked me to like meet her on campus, and I was bringing her a Starbucks drink to try to be sweet. So I met her on Library Bridge and I had a Diet Coke in my hand. And she asked me like, why do you drink Diet Coke? And my response was, well, if I have to choose between getting cancer and being fat, I choose cancer. And then immediately sunk into my own body, turned bright red. We did not talk for very long after that. She tried to be cool about it, but I just humiliated myself in front of this girl. And just thinking about it right now is making me like quiver and sweat. Like what a horrible thing to say to a person in general. Just absolutely.
That is so funny. That is such a funny story though. And look, you know, if she could see you today, she'd see your thriving 28-year-old YouTuber
God.
who, you know,
stop drinking Diet Coke after that out of guilt. Know what I mean? Like
turn saying just as stupid stuff into a profession. So you know what? You're thriving.
I'm smoking a cigar before every meal. I don't care if that thing's 10 inches long. Me and Sir Plant are lighting up a cigar and then eating our beef steaks.
All right, Sir Plant. What side are you taking in this hypothetical?
The cigars, of course.
Of course.
Every meal already.
Naturally. I didn't know the English likes cigars.
Also, I see Cuban who said my boys
put
just...
the cigar on that in my plant. I don't like that.
Sorry about that, buddy.
I'll pick a different plant next time.
Yeah.
I'll do it on an animal next time just to make it even. I'll start putting my cigarettes out on random dogs on the street.
How are we not canceled? All right, guys, let's move on to our next hypothetical situation. I'm just going to go ahead and kick Sir Plant out of here. Get the F out of here, little plant. I don't know why I immediately took this character into me and Sir Plant hate each other.
I kind of like you created him, JL. That was your child.
I know, but sometimes you don't like your kids, you know?
I like playing with Sir Plant. I want to play with him some more sometime.
Sometimes you got that one kid that you just wish, you know, maybe they were a different kid. And that's my Sir Plant. All right, we're getting into our next hypothetical. Simon, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Would you rather take ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers or take ayahuasca without Aaron Rodgers?
This is a good question because my immediate response is thinking like, oh, without for sure. Like, I don't want to be, but then I'm thinking like, the story. Know what I mean? For the rest of my life, I can tell people like I did. I've
turned one sit-ups competition into an entire brand. You can turn an ayahuasca sesh with Aaron Rodgers into a freaking like the entire book series,
a company. Know what I mean? Like this whole show will just be the like. It'll just be like the ayahuasca hour with Aaron Rodgers, but he's not even here. It's just the guy who did it with him.
Every week we take
on Thursday mornings, Aaron Rodgers comes on and we all just take ayahuasca.
It's like 7-hour stream and we're quiet for like 7 hours and 30 minutes. And all of a sudden one of us is like, what?
Here's the problem with it. If you don't do it with Aaron Rodgers, you're going to want to tell everybody about it anyways, right? Like you're going to want to tell every single person. But if Aaron Rodgers isn't there, you're just the annoying friend that was like, yeah, so I flew down to Peru and found a shaman and
my good friend Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if you've heard of
but
him.
If Aaron Rodgers is there, then it's like, I did ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers. Everyone's like, cool. Otherwise, everyone's like, shut up. Like, we don't care that you paid thousands of dollars to go whitewash a tradition in South America. Like just do it yourself and not talk about it. But if it's with
Aaron, can I take your order?
If it's with Aaron Rodgers, everyone wants to hear about it. And I'm just imagining like the combos maybe you're having with Aaron Rodgers on there. You could probably get some real good football talk in. Know what I mean? Like some really like some like meta level existential talk about football in the NFL. Like
I feel like I would understand football less afterwards. I just feel like he would explain things to me and it would make so much sense. And then the next day I'd be like, yeah, no, this is how you succeed in the NFL. You eat a giant ball of clay, you take a bunch of ayahuasca, and you run the RPO, and you're good.
Grow your hair out, buy a couple sleeveless undershirt tanks, and you're good to go.
A couple Levi's.
It's with Aaron Rodgers. That's the only answer here. It's for the story. You got to do it for the story.
And for me, it doesn't matter because either way, I'm going to say that I did ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to make up about all these fun stuff that we talked about and all these things I learned about him. So it doesn't matter.
Tim's kind of on the same wavelength as you, JL. He said you can probably claim he was there anyway, and I feel like he looks a little bit too much like a greasy Grim Reaper.
That might freak you out. You know what? Since they're even, I think I would do it with Aaron Rodgers, mainly because I feel like he's entertaining. He's just it doesn't matter what he says if you agree with it or not. The dude brings the content.
Though I'm now imagining Aaron Rodgers being like the worst trip sitter on planet Earth. Like you sit next to him, you tell him you're scared, and he just looks at you and he goes like boogity boogity boogity. He like just gets really close in your face, like as you're like freaking out. Like he just plays
real
into
weird
it.
about
like,
it.
Just a joke, bro. Like you say like I'm freaking out, and he's like, have you ever thought about how your fingers could just fall off? Like he just like says things like that.
He over exaggerates. It's like, hey, can you pass me the water? He's like, whoa, man, settle down, okay. You're a little crazy.
Still, Aaron Rodgers for the story. He could tickle me the whole time, and I would still pick Aaron Rodgers.
All right. I think we settled that one. Got time for another?
Yes.
All right, Simon. Would you rather live with Shrek in his swamp or live in the Brown stadiums with Baker Mayfield? Yes, still. Or share a 200 square foot New York City studio apartment with producer Keith? And his wife.
I almost want to pick that one just to mess with Keith and his wife, right? Like
just ruin the relationship.
It's definitely not the best option. But the idea of like Keith and his wife having to live with me in a 200 square foot apartment is just really
start
fun.
Of every single TBS sitcom.
Like they're getting ready for bed, and it's small. It's one bedroom for sure, and so I just go climb in bed. I'm like, I got the left side. Don't worry about me. Like you guys can have the whole right side. I won't even scoot over there. Walking around like, Keith, what's for dinner?
I'm 100% imagining just King of Queens, but with you guys in it.
Wait, am I Charlie Sheen then?
Yeah. You're 100. Of course, you're Charlie Sheen. I'm Deacon. I'm probably the annoying friend. I forget his name, but Danny or something. And then you just call it, since Keith's trying to name it, he's just gonna call it King of Brooklyn. There it is.
For some reason, I keep picturing Paul Blart in that show, and I know I'm thinking of King of Queens, but I'm like picturing all of the 2.5 Men characters, but the main character, skinny guy, is replaced by Kevin James. And like, that's the show that's in my head right now.
Ashton Kutcher.
No, not Ashton Kutcher, the other guy. Ashton Kutcher's still there.
Oh, Charlie Sheen?
No, the one with the other guy, the dad of the child.
2.5 Men. Those are two of the 2.5.
Man, maybe I'm thinking of another wrong show. I'm just mixing up everything right here.
All right. So would you rather, if you do not recall, would you rather live with Shrek in his swamp stadium with Baker Mayfield, or share a 200 square foot New York City studio apartment with producer Keith? If I was playing this, my first question would be, and which I am playing it, so here is my first question. Do I get to leave? Do I get to leave these places? Like, how frequently do I get to leave? Is it something like I could just keep my stuff at that apartment and, never go? Like, if you're on like a trip, you got like a hotel room.
It's your primary residence. It's your primary residence. Okay. Like, that is where you live. Now, when you go on vacation or you're visiting other people, fine. And let's say like maybe you become busier, like you go out more often, you're just coming home to sleep. That's fine. But it's where you live. It's your house. It's where your food is. It's where your bed is. It's where your dog is.
You can leave. I mean, leave at will, like I can now at my house.
Like you can, sometimes. Yeah. So imagine, so Jail. Imagine, if you will, your house right now. Can you picture it?
Yeah, I got it.
And then think about the rules surrounding leaving your house right now. Are there any?
Is it raining?
I mean, that's not a rule. You could still leave in the rain, just like you could leave in the rain at this place. But you're allowed to just treat it like your home. I feel like you're overcomplicating the concept of a home here.
It's just a question. I can't overcomplicate a question.
You're right. You're right.
The Brown Stadium with Baker is kind of interesting because he's no longer a Brown. That could be awkward or funny, depending on how you look at it. I feel like the Shrek in the swamp is kind of like just doesn't stand out here.
I disagree.
It doesn't sound fun. You got freaking Donkey annoying you all day. At least Keith, tell him shut up. No, Donkey wouldn't shut up.
JL, Shrek is living off the grid. Okay, it's that off the grid lifestyle. Like whenever you see those people up in like the forests of Washington who live in tree houses and hunt bears and like
my bros
grow apples. What'd you say?
I feel like my guy Shrek's just living in like the middle of
pretending to be off grid in the middle of Central Park.
Yeah.
I'm going with Keith because I want to mess with him. I want to live in that apartment and just continue to give him the business.
I like that. I feel like that's a good friend answer. I like getting the game said, are the stadium concessions open? Which I think is a very valid question. I would say they are open in that you can go back there, but they are not open in the sense that there's any food there that you can eat.
Okay, so you can go into the metal concession room stands
that you can go into. Yeah, but
here's why you can't pick that one. It's too disruptive. Know what I mean? You have too many people coming into your home all the time. Do you have any idea how stressed I would be if 40,000 people showed up to my house on Sunday?
For a game, though? Like for a football game?
I'm going to have to clean up. Like, there's going to be some stragglers. There's going to be some drunk assholes spilling beer all over my house, causing fights. It's a liability as well.
And you don't have to keep bringing it up.
Okay, sorry, Jail. I know. It was a tough time for you.
Juice.
It was apple juice, but it was in a beer bottle because you were trying to look cool. You were 18 trying to look cool with a beer bottle, but it was just apple juice.
You got me.
No, and then practices. Know what I mean? Like I'm trying to sleep, and then all of a sudden these people show up on the field.
They're practicing in the stadium though.
Every day, JL. Every single day. That's how football works. It's the field, isn't it? Yeah. And then they're doing events. Like, man, I couldn't do it. I like my alone time too much, and that would be taken away from me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Baker would probably be the best company. Sorry, Keith. I'm gonna go with Baker.
I feel like Baker.
Yeah, if I get free reign over that stadium for like 85% of the time, that's great. And the other time is the party that I'm hosting, and everybody's there for me, and they're all celebrating me, and I'm gonna control the jumbotron the whole time and the stadium music. I'm gonna get that stadium aux cord.
All the breaks, it's just going to be like, instead of whatever the Browns use for hype up in there, it's just going to be get out of my swamp, just over and over again, like voice modulated Shrek lyrics and lines coming out of the overhead.
Cole. Every single song is J. Cole.
Well, JL, Keith and I are making blanket forts and playing Fall Guys, so I don't know if you and Baker can do that there.
Of course we can. Of course we can do that.
How you making a blanket fort over the Jumbotron to play your Fall Guys?
Why got to be over the Jumbotron? I'm just going to we're going to do blankets across the entire field.
Yo, I saw.
You seen that?
The coolest TikTok. I don't know why I never thought of it. Talking of blanket forts. This mad person of a child. I don't know if they came up with the idea themselves or like saw it on the internet and stole it, but I'm going to give them credit because they're the first people I saw it from. They bought a duvet cover at Walmart, okay? A king-size duvet cover with just a gap in it and a fan. And they just set up the fan in front of the duvet cover hole and had it inflated like a giant balloon, and then just sat inside of the duvet cover with it like puffed up like a big old air-filled marshmallow.
Kind of like that thing that you did at like camp where you have the little like rainbow sheet and then you throw it up and everybody goes under.
The parachute, yeah, similar to the parachute, but this is like weighted down. You hold down the corners and you just got a big old sheet to live inside of.
All right. So Simon, you said you were going to take the studio apartment with Keith. I said I was going to take Brown Stadium with Baker Mayfield. Shrek's all alone. Poor Shrek. Maybe Coop will go hang out with Shrek.
It sounded like Coop said he wanted in the swamp. Yeah, he said swamp easy in the chat.
Swamp easy. I like that. We got some questions here in the YouTube chat. You want to hit on these?
Let's hit them.
All righty. We got Eric in here saying PPR follow-up question. Flex Josh Jacobs over your eternal love of Bateman. Pick one, Irv Smith Jr., Elijah Moore, or Russell Gage. We didn't hit that already, right? I don't think so.
Elijah Moore out of the – before we answer the Josh Jacobs, Rashad Bateman, that's Elijah Moore for me. Yeah, Irv had a decent game, but I'm going Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I would go Jacobs over Bateman this week. The matchup is really good. I
also would go Jacobs over Bateman. He's the dude. He's the running back in that offense. It's not looking like a committee like we thought it was going to be, and I like the matchup as well, JL. That's where my love for some Bateman ends. We're a little bit too twinsy right now on that one. Do we have more? Do we have more questions?
We got more questions. Damian Pierce. We got Sam in here. What up, Sam? Said Damian Pierce or Darrell Henderson, week 3, a full of PPR.
It's Darrell Henderson for me. I know we saw Cam Akers starting to get some more work, but I'm still plugging in Darrell Henderson over the 4th-round rookie on the Texans. I know we saw him pick up some additional work, but I got more trust in Henderson. And I got more trust in this Rams offense.
Yeah. It's Darrell Henderson for me as well. It is close. Darrell Henderson, the LA Rams are playing Arizona Cardinals. Damian Pierce, the Houston Texans are playing the Chicago Bears. The Bears.
Man, that screams good news for Darrell Henderson, doesn't it? Based on what we've seen from the Arizona Cardinals so far, like the Rams should be able to just close this game out. Like
it's been an easy matchup so far.
Well, except they had to come back win against the Raiders, right? Like they were an easy matchup for 7 quarters of this season so far.
Yeah,
Bad matchup.
And you got to keep in mind
quarter.
we got like two observations in the sample size.
Yeah,
it's not big. So these matchup the defensive matchups are gonna shift as we get more observations, so they'll level out a bit. But so far, Arizona's been giving up a lot of fantasy points to the running back position. I'll go Darrell Henderson.
Darrell Henderson. Do we have another question, Jail, or is that all we got right now?
More truly epic. Our Hunter Renfro connoisseur says Tom Brady, Joe Flacco, or Carson Wentz this week. Man, imagine like seeing into the future during the offseason. Imagine yourself asking this question in week 3.
Yeah, that's why I laughed a little bit. Was just like
Tom Brady,
how
absurd
that Tom Brady. The other 2 options you're looking at are Carson Wentz and Joe Flacco. It's Tom Brady. It's got to be Tom Brady. I know that Philadelphia Eagles matchup for the Commanders is enticing, right? Like, looks like it might be a higher scoring game. The over-under is set at 47.5, which is a little bit higher than that Buccaneers game is down there at 41.5. But I got to plug in Tom. I got to plug in Tom Brady and keep rolling with him. He's the dude. I don't have full trust in Carson Wentz yet. Now, that's saying he could earn it. Like another good week from Carson Wentz, and I'm looking at him maybe as a guy that you're looking to start every week.
It's not Joe Flacco. Best friend territory?
He's not best friend territory, but he's earning some respect, right? He's getting up into like acquaintance you're not embarrassed to run into at Walmart territory.
Wow. That's
like I saw him at a Barnes & Noble. Before, if I saw him at a Barnes & Noble, I would turn around real quickly and hope he didn't see me. But now I'd be like from afar, making sure I'm walking in opposite direction, like, hey, Carson, what's up? And then he'd say, hey, and maybe look
turn
like
around
he's
real
talk
quick
to
and
me.
be like, who's talking to me in this Walmart?
Just keep walking. Just keep walking. Just keep walking. But I'll say hello now.
You're just hiding in like the little racks of clothes.
Carson!
Leave me alone.
Duck behind the romance novels.
Yeah, I'm going Tom Brady as well in this one. Green Bay, they've been not the easiest matchup. Or I'm sorry, they've been one of the easier matchups for quarterbacks in the passing game. I'm going Tom Brady, although Carson Wentz is kind of close. Definitely closer than I would have thought in the offseason.
Weird.
And we got one more question before we no longer have questions. Brendan asked in the chat, Henderson, so Darrell Henderson, Travis Etienne, J.D. McKissick, running back, or Breece Hall, running back for the New York Jets this week, week 3. Darrell Henderson, Etienne, McKissick, or Breece Hall, Simon?
Henderson. It's
Henderson.
I'm still rolling with Henderson.
This one's a little tougher. I feel like a lot of like the Darrell Henderson, Garrett Wilson, like Rashad Bateman, these are the ones we keep seeing this week. Breece Hall.
Going against the Browns, I just don't. 38.5 point over under on a Thursday night. Oh, Breece Hall. Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah, you're good. Same division and all.
Last week.
And you're not tempted at all by Etienne.
No, I need to see something from Etienne first. You know what I mean? I feel like I've seen little flashes, but I need to see a good game. I need to see a game. I need to see a holographic Charizard card from Etienne
before I trust him.
And then I'll start him.
Yeah.
First edition, no shadow on that thing. If you got a shadow, that's not first edition. I'm not interested, Etienne.
It feels really bad benching Breece Hall to start Darrell Henderson, but it's what I'm going to do this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the right decision. I think it's what you got to do. Sure,
yep.
Breece could eat, but Darrell Henderson looks like he's the primary back for that Rams offense. I'm plugging him into the lineup.
Good questions. Keep the questions coming. We love answering them.
Absolutely. Guys, see Aiden in the chat. Aiden with good morning. What's up, Aiden? Glad to have you in here. You are listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. Coming up, we're going to talk some more player props. Dale and I go a little head-to-head, have a competition. We'll see how we did next week. And then Emmett Golden of ESPN Cleveland is coming on as well. This is the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Better Sports Network.
We got to get a team in Honolulu. Like, what about that, Ray? You think Oakland? Like, nobody's talking about Honolulu for the Oakland A's to move to. How badass would that be to have a Major League Baseball team? Instead, they want to go to like where it's 120 degrees in the desert of Vegas.
Right.
Ray, they should pick up and go to Honolulu. That would be epic right there.
They could go to Honolulu, and instead of playing 12 games against the team throughout the course of the year, you just play a 12-game set. Just get it done.
What's the flight from the Bay Area? 4 hours?
It's depending which direction you're going, it's 5.5.
Okay, that's not terrible. You'd have to manage the schedule a bit,
right?
But it's doable. Like, you play your West Coast games, and then maybe you give an extra day. Like you play in San Francisco through Sunday, and then you have your Monday off. Everybody gets their Monday off, and then they play, out in Hawaii for 4 games, and they come back for the weekend.
It's very similar time-wise for us in California, in the Bay Area, to go to Hawaii as it is to go to New York. It's very similar. So yeah, like you're saying, Giants do that to go to the Mets. The A's do that to go to the Yankees. They do it, so it would be very similar.
They would be they've already got the baseball background. I mean, they're dominant. The island loves their baseball. And Ray, you could even rebrand the team from the Oakland A's to the Oakland Lays. You can do the Lays, Ray. Look at that.
Good. That's actually, there's no way that would ever happen, but that's pretty good, Kyle. On the fly.
I'm giving away like free marketing right here.
Good work.
Right on the show.
The plan is for them to stay here, but the fans hate them. I don't know if the city likes them. They can't. I mean, it's embarrassing. I don't know. The plan
There's a lot of land in Hawaii. Just think about the views, Ray, of the Pacific. It would put your crap ballpark in San Francisco to shame. Like, everybody thinks that's a good view.
Right.
They'd have like waterfalls and real palm trees and the Pacific Ocean.
People trolling fire in the 7th
They would
stretch.
make the Giants Park look like, the vet in Philly. It would look that awful if they moved to Hawaii.
And you go to your flip-flops or shorts. They serve Mai Tais. They give lays away. The first 5,000 fans, whatever.
Well, everybody in the chat room loves it. Every time I get a compliment, I don't bring it up on the show.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I don't want to be that guy.
Call, chat, enter contests in real time. It's Sports Talk 3.0 with Better Sports Network.
Play action. Wentz throws for it. Goes to Dotson. Did he catch it? Yes! Touchdown! Touchdown, Washington!
Touchdown, Daddy Wentz. Wentz out there throwing dimes. This is the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. And Jay, I heard someone on that clip say, just like I don't hear you say anything right now whenever you respond, but I heard someone on that clip say that they shouldn't share all of their compliments they receive on air. I think we should share every compliment we've ever received on air. Man, and I have a compliment.
No!
I tried to give you a little sneaky notice. Like I heard in that clip, just like I don't hear you right now, trying to hope you would pick up on it. But
are you listening to me? Yeah, listen, it's not my fault. I don't want you guys to hear me ripping farts during the break. All right. I'm doing it for you. I do it for the people. What did you ask me? I don't even remember now.
We should share our compliments. Every compliment we've ever gotten.
Yeah, I have them all written down. That's what I was saying. All right here, actually.
You know what's
You
sad?
are okay. That's all I got.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a great. I thought you were giving me the compliment, and I immediately became gracious. Like, oh, thank you so much.
I am. You know what? I am okay. I'm all right.
So, before we talk some of these player props, we had a question here from Aiden. Aiden wanted to know: start Curtis Samuel, Jacoby Myers, or James Robinson full PPR. Which of those three players are you starting?
Ooh, this happens to me every year. I always like, even though we will talk about these the same players multiple times, and I'll bring up their matchups, I can't remember them from like conversation to conversation. So let me pull those up, Simon, if you want to go first.
Yeah, it's Curtis Samuel for me. He's getting the targets. This is full PPR. The upside with the other two guys, I'm not super excited about. So I'll take maybe the safe target share with the PPR upside in Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, I think James Robinson could be interesting, but he is dealing with some sort of injury. Have we gotten any news on that? Have you seen anything?
Not that I've seen.
I haven't seen anything either. For that reason alone, I think I would go Curtis Samuel. Like, they're close enough, Curtis Samuel and James Robinson. But if the injury stuff wasn't there, if I was confident James Robinson was playing, I'd probably play him over Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, we had another question in here from Tim. Tim wanted to know Hawkinson or Everett this week. And with the news that Keenan Allen was a partial participant in practice yesterday, Gerald Everett goes back to the glob. Like, if Keenan Allen is playing, Gerald Everett, you're going back to the glob of tight ends.
Back to the glob, Gerald.
Back to the glob. You're no
hear
longer separated as a guy that you just have to start every week. Don't get me wrong. He can have big weeks. This is a great offense. With even from the glob, he can find some of those points, but he's not a must start anymore. He's not a plug in your lineup. I'm going to go Hawkinson if Allen plays. And then, if Allen doesn't play, throw Everett in there. Like if Allen is out, I will go Everett. It's enough of a difference for me to make that change.
If Allen Robinson is out?
Keenan Allen.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
Makes way more sense for those two to be connected, right?
Oh my God, it's so early in the morning. I'm still asleep at this time usually. TJ Hawkinson is also kind of dealing with some sort of injury. Maybe lingering hip issue. I would go TJ Hawkinson as well over Gerald Everett.
We had another question from Aiden in here. Wanted to know any top waiver wire defenses to target this week. I mean, the obvious ones, like the Bills, are going to be rostered. You're probably going to have the Bills rostered.
Probably not a waiver wire defense.
Probably not a waiver wire defense. The Browns, you may look at this low over under for the Browns and think like great matchup. They've got some injured D linemen as well. It's a Thursday night game. Like, I think you could still roll out there with the Browns if they are sitting on the waiver wire, but I'm not as confident as you should be in this Browns defense for tonight. Joe, what was the one you said?
Well, let me address the Browns one first. I'm not worried about the Browns at all this week. I think they'll be a top 5 defense in fantasy because it's Milky Trubisky. He's looked terrible. He has not looked good. He has confirmed all of my prior beliefs about Milky Trubisky, which is immediately discounting him after we saw him earlier on in his career, which maybe not fair. I do think Mitchell Trubisky is a below average quarterback. He's probably adequate enough to play in the NFL and to get this team maybe to 500, but he has not looked good. And that Cleveland Browns defense, despite the injuries, are still pretty stout. Still pretty stout defense when it comes down to it. The other one I was going to bring up was the Cowboys against the Giants this week.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. And I think all of this is a moot point because Aiden says they have the Saints right now. Play the Saints against Carolina. Like the Saints just shut down Tom Brady through an entire half. Keep that Saints team. Keep rolling with it. That is a great matchup for you this week if you've got the Saints defense.
Saints are a really good matchup.
Better than all of. I mean, they're one of the top defenses. I think only maybe the Bills over them, but then even then the Bills are playing the Dolphins. Like the Saints might be my top defense to start this week, like my number one defense.
Yeah. I wouldn't blame you at all. I mean, Bills, I think, is the only other argument there, and they're playing Miami, so you can make the argument that the upside that Miami has on the offensive side is enough to put the Saints above them. Can I address a comment real quick?
No. Okay, now you can. Sorry, I just needed a second.
Daddy's home, aka Mike Paella. I hope I said that wrong.
It's Mike Paella.
He has said a lot of mean things to me over the years. A ton of mean things, just the meanest things you can think of. He texts to me, 2 a.m., doesn't matter. He just said, most call JL the Trubilky of the fantasy space. And I have never been hurt more by someone I consider a friend. Think about what you did, Mike, and go back to the glob rest of the day.
He's not a tight end. He's not even allowed in the glob, JL.
Loose end.
He's a loose end. Jill, maybe he didn't mean it as an insult. Maybe he mean it as like underappreciated. Milky Trubilky was relegated to backup duties, and now he's getting his shot as the starting guy and just fumbling the bag.
absolutely dropping his opportunity as one shot. Just mom spaghetti all over that field.
It started out so nice, and then as I went, I was like, "Oh, this doesn't have a nice ending. Like
and
this is
effing it up.
This is not a good ending." One more question from Aiden before we jump into our player props. Aiden said Pat Freiermuth or Dalton Schultz. Jail, where are you going this week at tight end? Are you starting Mr. Fryer Tuck or are you starting Dalton Schultz?
I'm gonna start the Fryer truck, as our good friend Joey says, over Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz is dealing with an injury as well. And I'm not gonna play with that game. It's not worth it. The upside isn't even there.
He's questionable week 3, and Freiermuth has that same upside. I feel like Coop was talking about earlier on the show. So we're gonna go Pat F, Mr. F. Welcome to the starting lineup over here. JL, I wanted to talk some player props for tonight's game, and tomorrow we can. You want to do a Shrek impression bet? You have to do like a full 2 lines of Shrek.
Can those lines consist solely of donkey?
No, absolutely not. And it can be other characters from Shrek. We'll let you know before the show and give you the lines and tell you the character. But one of us is going to have to do it. Could be Gingerbread Man. It could be the 3 Little Pigs. It could be the Blind Mice. Whatever you got to do. The Hogs.
3 Little Hogs.
The 3 Little Hogs.
The FYF Morning Show with the 3 Little Hogs.
Can we rewrite the 3 Little Pigs as the 3 Little Hogs and make it just like 100%. A little bit too aggressive?
And put us into that.
Just drop hog into the book over and over.
And a reasonable
over.
Kevin Tompkins came and tried to blow the house down. Producer Keith left the stove on, burned the house down.
JL, let's hit this first player prop. How this is going to work is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 player props for us. Okay.
We're
going to both guess whether we think it's over or under on all of these. If you're correct, you're going to get a point tomorrow. If you're wrong, you're not. Whoever has more points is the winner. The other one is losing our Shrek bet. Put that Shrekspert status on the line for the accent.
What if we tie?
There. If we tie, we both do it. If we tie, both of us have to do it. Different characters, different lines. And then whoever does worse gets kicked off the show forever, and the other one has to do it solo for the rest of the time.
That sounds pretty nice.
Sound pretty nice? Yeah, sounds pretty good. Dale, this first one, Amari Cooper, wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns, going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. 52.5 receiving yards. Do you think Amari Cooper gets over or under 52.5 receiving yards?
So Amari Cooper in week 1 had 17 receiving yards, three receptions on 6 targets for 17 receiving yards. And then week 2, he had 9 receptions on 10 targets for 101 receiving yards. And the line you said was what?
Oh, is this where I fill it in? 52 and a half.
52 and a half. That's a good number. That's how old my lawyer is. I'm going to go with actually right in the middle, man. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with under. I think it's gonna be a run heavy game, and I don't think Amari Cooper is gonna get over 50, 2.5.
I think this can be a run heavy game, and Amari Cooper can get over 50 yards. Like I mentioned earlier, I expect this game to be like relatively close. I could even see the Steelers maybe pulling ahead a little bit early, and Amari Cooper might have to be involved. The other thing, like the Browns want this to be a run heavy game, but that Steelers defensive line, even without TJ Watt, has been pretty good, averaging like only giving up 4 yards per carry to opposing running backs. Like the Browns, now they weren't Nick Chubb, right? But the Browns may have some difficulties moving the ball on the ground and have to go in the air, and Amari Cooper's the dude. He's the one. It's not DPJ. It's not Anthony Schwartz. Maybe they get Njoku.
Could be DPJ. It was DPJ week 1.
Right. It could be DPJ, but we've already had that DPJ game. He's got to wait a couple. DPG game.
DPG insurance.
On your side.
On your side. DPJ sometimes. Very inconsistently giving you coverage. Yeah, I put out a tweet yesterday that was like, I forgot what the exact numbers were, but it was like week 1 DPJ went from like 34% target share to week 2 4% target share, and that's the most Donovan Peoples-Jones thing I've ever heard.
That's pretty accurate. And luckily they have another guy in Anthony Schwartz, a super fast guy that if he's lucky, he could just turn into another player that's wildly inconsistent for the Browns. JL, you took the under. I'm taking the over on that one. I think Amari Cooper has to get involved in this game for the Browns to stand a chance. Up next, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Chase Claypool. The line is set at 37.5 receiving yards. I guess I made you go first on that last one, JL, so I should probably go first here, right? It's only fair.
Nah.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
No, shoot. What was the line again? I wanted to write down the last one so that we tracked it.
I got it in the show sheet as well. Chase Claypool's at 37.5 receiving yards.
Ooh, Claypool. Okay. All right, you go first.
You just said I didn't have to go first, JL.
All right, I'll go
change
first.
your mind on that?
No,
Okay.
you go first. You go first.
Okay, through this week, Chase Claypool has sucked through the first 2 weeks of the season. That's my official analysis.
Poo-poo for Claypool.
Terrible. Poo-poo for Claypool. I know he's a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. I just haven't seen it yet on the field this year. We're waiting. He's waiting for the dramatic reveal. It's all about the dramatic
I don't know how they
pause.
measure that, but I'm waiting to find out.
It's with a special ruler that you have to order from Canada, and it's on back
Only
order.
Chase has it.
Yeah,
You won't let
Chase
anybody
has
else
it.
see.
No. It's like he stores it in his closet, and he just tells people he's going to check it real quick. He's like, "Yep, still a top 3 wide receiver. Don't know what to tell you guys." It's like the scene in The Office where Michael Scott runs past the speedometer, but actually a car drove by, and he thinks he ran 30 miles per hour. Devontae Adams was standing right behind Chase Claypool whenever he measured himself to be one of the top 3. Then he walked away. He was like, "Yep, top 3. Can't argue against it." That was me. That being said, I'm taking the under here. I am taking the under on Chase Claypool. I don't think he's going to be very involved in this game plan, and I don't trust Milky Trubisky getting the ball out successfully against this Browns defense, even a little bit banged up. I'll take the under. But with a player like Claypool, under on a line of 37.5 is scary, right? Because it just takes one play. But yeah. I'll count on that not happening.
Yeah, I want to look this up now. We're talking about Chase Claypool. I want to see what his route participation was because he's playing on like 90+% of the snaps. It's kind of interesting, but he has not cracked he hasn't done well so far in like the first 2 weeks. He had 18 yards in week 1, 26 yards in week 2 against Cincinnati and then New England respectively. And I just was talking about how this Cleveland matchup I don't think it's going to be very good for Pittsburgh and old Milky. I think that Milky has gone a little bit rotten. So I'm gonna take the under as well.
You got some sour milk spoiling in your Claypool.
Sour 2%.
Is it 2%? No, Milky Trubisky
is like what's worse than skim milk?
Hey, skim milk's the best milk if you're gonna have to drink milk.
I agree with you, but doesn't everybody hate it? So that's why
everyone hates it. Maybe like I don't know, pea milk. Have you ever heard of it? No, that's real. That's real, made out of like peas.
That up.
No, not urine pea, like pea. I
feel like Milky Trubisky is like the full fat milk. You know what I mean? Like that's so that sounds mean. It's not what I meant.
He's pea milk. He's Ripple branded pea milk, not a sponsor. But hey, Ripple,
What is
we
pea
get
milk?
the-
I don't like it. What is that?
It's called PEA milk, made out of the vegetable pea milk, JL. So, JL, are you taking the under on Chase Claypool as well?
Yes. Yeah, under.
Because, okay, we got the same answer on that one. The next one, JL, David Njoku, 30.5 receiving yards. Are you taking the over or under on this one?
30.5?
Yes.
So through week 1, David Njoku had 1 target, 1 reception for 7 yards. Week 2, he had 5 targets, 3 receptions for 32 yards. And the line you said was 30.5.
0.5.
30.5.5 for Njoku. Pittsburgh. This one's pretty tough. This one is pretty tough. I will take the over on this one.
The over on that one. And JL,
I would say away from this. I was really betting it.
I'm going to take the under on this one. I like David Njoku, but I'm not sure how I feel about him in this matchup. Like I said, I think they're going to need to get going through the passing game, but maybe not to an extreme extent, right? They still want to go back to the run. They want Nick Chubb to grind this game out. They get it going with Amari Cooper. David Njoku's the odd man out. I'm taking the under on David Njoku at 30.5 receiving yards. We've got 2 more, JL. And then I saw we had some questions in there. We'll probably hit those questions after that. JL, first, Najee Harris, 52.5 rush yards.
Make me go first on all these.
I'll go
Najee
first on
Harris,
this one. I can go first on this if you want me to.
I could do it. I'm just being a big baby because we're in hour 3, and that's when I turn into a big baby. You said 52. He hasn't cracked that yet. He had 23 rushing yards week 1, 49 in week 2. The reason I bring these up is this is a lot of times how the lines makers go through their processes. They're averaging out like recent performance along with historical performance. So typically when I'm looking at props, I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at, how frequently this person is breaking that threshold and adjusting based off the situation. 52.5 for Najee Harris. I'm going to take the over on this. I think they're going to have to lean heavily on Najee Harris in this game, and that would result in more yards. So I'm going to take the over.
Brownie's out, but this defense is still good. I'm taking the under. Najee Harris. Najee Harris is going to struggle against this, even this banged up Browns defensive front. I don't think they're too scared of Milky Trubisky, right? They're not wildly scared of him beating them through the air. So I'm going to take the under on this one. Then JL, this one is bonus. This one, we're just going to do it. I don't care about the odds. First touchdown score. Okay. If you get this right, it's just going to be a bonus 2 points. Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's just going to be 2 points for you. First touchdown scorer in this game. Name a player. I'll put the odds next to it. It's just a glory play if you pick someone that's not necessarily like one of the most favored, but whoever you think is going to be the first touchdown scorer, put that down. It's a bonus 2 points.
I just write it down. Where am I putting it?
Tell me.
Oh, I got to tell you. Okay.
I can go first if you want. Go
ahead.
And you know what? You would think maybe the answer would be Nick Chubb here, right? But I'm going to go with the back that I said earlier. I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt as the first touchdown scorer in this game. He was disappointing in week 2. We get a touchdown out of Kareem Hunt, a little short pass from Baker Mayfield to Kareem Hunt in the end zone and gets him off to a hot start. And then Nick Chubb just rushes for like 140 yards and gets this game locked up. I will take Kareem Hunt as the first touchdown scorer in this game.
So this is not any time. This is first touchdown.
First touchdown. It's bonus points. This is the bonus round.
This is bonus round. I'll go with Najee Harris. I just brought him up. I'll go with Najee Harris.
Najee Harris. I don't mind that one.
Plus
I believe
700 according to FanDuel Sportsbook.
The first touchdown score for Najee Harris.
Yeah. Nick Chubb's plus 450. The next closest one is Najee Harris, actually, at plus 700, followed by Kareem Hunt, plus 750, Amari Cooper, plus 850, and Deontay Johnson, plus 1,100.
And then the Fryer Truck himself at plus 1,200. You know what, Jale? You and I, the players we picked, pretty close in odds, plus 750, plus 700.
Yeah.
We'll see who wins tomorrow. Loser's doing some Shrek. Winner's doing some Shrek. Everybody's doing Shrek tomorrow.
Everybody wins.
Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
Shrek is love. Shrek is life. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show.
We had some questions in the chat, Jail, that I wanted to hit. Ryan Murphy in here said, Cook and Judy for Adams and Gibson. Would you do that one? So Brant Cook, which Cook is this? Probably Dalvin Cook and Jerry Judy for Devontae Adams and Antonio Gibson. Are you making this trade, Jail?
Dalvin Cook, Jerry Judy for Antonio Gibson and
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. Ooh.
Oh.
I think I am staying on the non-Gibson side.
Yep, me too. I'm staying on the Cook Judy side. There's too many unknowns with Antonio Gibson, with Brian Robinson coming back to make this move. And then Judy
feels
should
like
be
a sell
good.
high time for Gibson. Like he just had that great week, and I don't think that's going to be consistent like that. So feels like a good time to maybe take advantage of someone who's just looking at box score.
You see Coop in the chat said, bro, so many people are saying happy birthday. You guys are so stupid. Everyone, if you haven't wished Coop happy birthday yet, make sure you go and wish Coop happy birthday. He's on Twitter at Coop A Fiasco. It's his birthday today, and he's going.
I think
out
I'll put it on
celebrate.
LinkedIn next.
I'm gonna put it on my Zenga and set it as my AIM status as well. Did you have a Zenga, JL?
I might have had a Zenga, but that wasn't my main one. I started out on those AIM streets. Lil Pimp Golf for 500. Find me. What's up?
Say Pimp Golf for 500.
Lil Pimp Golf for 500. That was my my AIM handle at 7 years old.
You know what, Jill? I didn't think someone could have a more embarrassing AIM handle than me. I was Cool Nerd 48. Cool Nerd 48.
Dude, that is so annoying. That's like the hot person's definition of nerd, or embarrassing. Like, oh yeah, this is so embarrassing. When
it's
just
so
a cool
cringy.
name. It's just a cool name.
It's so cringy.
Cringy. Lil Pimp Golf for 500. Are you kidding me? They're not even in the same state.
One's in Alabama and one's in Toledo. 2 states in the U.S., Toledo and Alabama.
Yes,
everyone loves the state of Toledo. Holy Toledo.
I love that we're ruining Coop's day with happy birthdays.
Dale, we had another question from The Spot. The Spot wants to know, Stephon Diggs.
We are so easily amused. We're idiots.
JL, coming to you straight from The Spot.
The Spot live from the spot, from the Spot's mouth to my ears.
From the spot hole to the ear hole. Which of these 3 are you starting? Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Rashad Bateman, Gabe Davis, Brandon Ayuk.
Oh my gosh.
Ayuk. I forgot the Y and just said Ayuk.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. The I just disappears.
All right, run him back one more time. Stephon Diggs,
Keenan
Brandon
Allen,
Ayuk.
Stephon Diggs, Rashad Bateman, Gabe Davis, Brandon Ayuk.
All right, get Gabe Davis out of there. I don't want that
Bonk.
injury smoke. Bonk, meet bonk for Davis.
What about the Keenan
Stephon
Allen
Diggs, lock it
injury?
in. Keenan Allen, bonk, meet bonk for Keenan Allen. Get him out of here. This is between. What am I doing, man? This is Diggs and Bateman. We're picking 2.
Picking 3. So you
Picking
either one of the
3.
guys you bonked or Brandon Ayuk.
Shoot, you don't even need a third. Just go Diggs and Bateman. They got you.
That's Dale's advice: is only start 2. Leave one of your wide receiver slots blank.
Yeah, don't be greedy. I'll go Brandon Ayuk as a third.
I'm gonna go Diggs, Bateman, and then if Allen's playing, I'm plugging him in. He was a limited participant here. I know we're worried about the injury, but I like that offense and I want pieces of it in my lineup. So if Allen is playing, I'm starting Keenan Allen along with Diggs and Bateman. Diggs and Bateman aren't even a question, though. Pretty close. The Chosen Rose wants to know Ertz or Everett. Dale, where are you going on this one? Is it Ertz or is it Everett?
Ertz or Everett sounds like a fantastic jam band name.
Ertz or Everett. Yeah, they're
Ertz
playing
and
like
Everett.
nothing but like the string cheese incident covers up on stage, like Ertz and
I was
Everett.
thinking
That's their
Allman Brother
jam.
covers.
Oh, there we go. We could get some Allman Brothers mixed in there. That's the encores. They come out and play some Allman Brothers. Like they've had a whole night of string cheese incident, and then they get some Allman Brothers out there.
I think I just realized in this moment that I've been saying Almond Brothers my whole life.
The Almond Brothers.
And that's probably not correct.
You know,
Almond
Jill,
Brothers.
sometimes we just have those moments where we've been saying it wrong over and over and over again. Like the word luncheon. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that one on here. Apparently pronounced
that was
luncheon.
like your Ross word, right?
That was my
Or
Ross
you,
word.
You didn't watch Friends, but yeah, like the word that you only read, never actually heard anyone say.
I feel like there's more where like I just had never seen it spoken, but just read it.
Never seen it spoken. I go Ertz here though, over Everett.
I'm going Ertz as well. Again, with Keenan Allen back, Everett's back in the glob. He's back in that glob for me. I'm not starting him unless your other options are like Irv Smith, Hayden Hurst, Tyler Higbee. Like if you're looking at that tier, then you're plugging Gerald Everett in.
Smith.
And if Keenan Allen doesn't play, Ertz is high enough that I'm still playing Ertz, right? Like Ertz is still the guy that I want to start. Even
Would you play Ertz over Shrek?
So I would definitely play Shrek over Ertz without a doubt. Look at that body. That dude's built to be a tight end. Good luck tackling Shrek. You saw Shrek in the arena whenever he was like every single person in that arena was going against him, and he came out on top. A little assist from Donkey, but you know, football's a team sport. He'll have his donkey on the field to help him out a little bit.
Have his donkey.
He was absolutely trucking people, JL.
That's true.
Also, I see Keith in here saying, should I ask people to wish Coop a happy birthday from the BSN Twitter?
Yes.
Absolutely. Without a 100%. Doubt. It would be non-supportive as a company if the BSN Twitter didn't wish Coop a happy birthday.
Yeah, I mean, it would hurt. It would hurt if they did that.
Yeah. Joe, we have one more question from Joey C9. He said, pick one, Bateman, Garrett Wilson, or Juju. Lots of Bateman questions this week.
So many Bateman questions. It feels like he's been in every question. Him and Garrett Wilson, a lot of Garrett Wilson ones too. I'm gonna go Bateman here. The three of these guys. We touched a bit on Juju earlier. I know Simon, you were a little bit more bullish on Juju this week than I am. But Bateman is the clear guy here out of these three.
Yeah, it's Bateman. But Juju's not far behind. It's very close between those two guys. I understand wanting to capitalize on that huge Garrett Wilson week, right? He's probably a guy that you want to plug into your lineup, but not one that you have to force in there. Like you don't have to force Garrett Wilson in there. Will said I dropped Hopkins for Garrett Wilson. Good move. So JL, DeAndre Hopkins for Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I'm okay with this move. This is the way I would be thinking about this move is based off strategy. So if it's going to depend on how your team is doing, what your winning record is, or I'm sorry, what your record is. If you're winning, what your other wide receiver options look like. If you're willing to take on or kind of shift off that risk, because when DeAndre Hopkins comes back, there's a chance that he is better than he's producing better than Wilson week in and week out. I'm the type of player I would rather have Garrett Wilson for the next 4 weeks than have DeAndre Hopkins sitting on my bench. So I will go. I think it's a good move. I think you did good.
This one's team dependent for me. I'm fine with it, but it depends on your team. Are you sitting at 0-2? You need a win? Then I'm cool with it. I'm literally copying what JL said, apparently. JL, I just tuned you out. I just stopped listening entirely and said, I'll give my own take right here.
I do the same thing.
And Will in here saying, I did it because I'm 0-2. I have Waddle, Bateman, and Gabe. Yeah, then good move, man. That's what you got to do. Sometimes those decisions are hard and some people are unwilling to make them, but you got to look at your situation and you need that win. Starting 0-3 is not great, Bob. Not great.
Here's the upside. Here's like the hope for you, Will, is that what we saw with Garrett Wilson so far has been he's been very efficient, and there's room for him to get more involved, to have more opportunities on this offense, and he is doing the most with the opportunities that he's already been given. And Elijah Moore has been given more opportunities so far through 2 weeks, but I think that's going to shift. Garrett Wilson's a rookie. We typically see some ramp up time for rookie wide receivers in this league, even though we've been spoiled over the last couple of years. I love this move.
Absolutely. We will be right back with special guest Emmett Golden from ESPN Cleveland, talking some Thursday night football and Browns in general. Make sure you guys stick around for that. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Corey, Nando, and friends, presented by Mayo Media on Better Sports Network.
Oh, have to they do the same thing like they made like an orange Notre Dame guy in the field. You know what I'm saying?
That's an old school throwback. There's a throwback logo.
I would take that off the field immediately. Like I was in charge of football operations for the Cleveland Browns. I'd be talking to the field staff. Right? Hey, get this off the field right now, damn it. Get out of here. That'd be me right now if I was in charge of logistics, football operations for the Cleveland Browns. Like, hey, everybody, get over here. Everybody, get over here and get this thing off the field right now, damn it. That's what I'd be yelling at them like that, Nando.
How do you do that? Do you have to like
yell at
it? I know. I mean, how do you get stuff off the field? Yeah, how does that? I got that. Oh, really? Oh, with
yeah. You come out there with a
megaphone
like Joe Clark. Yeah. every ass needs to get in line and get yourself off the field.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Tua will never have a better game for the rest of his life. Okay, so if there was ever a time to trade high on a guy, 42 points, 469 yards, 6 touchdowns, now is it. Okay, there are people with Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Mitch Trubisky, Jameis Winston. Like, there's all kinds of people out there. You know, Trey Lance. There's tons of teams that need a quarterback. I would strongly be considering trading him. I'm trying to remember what we had him ranked at Fantasy Guru, like for full season. I think they had him like 15th, 16th, something like that for the season. And a game like this could take him from 16th to 13th, just one game, right? I think he'll be very good. Is he going to be top 10? I'm not sold on that. If he is being viewed that way, and I think he likely is, if he's your second quarterback, as he almost certainly is, I'd be listening.
Josh rolling to his left, looks back, throws the other way to his right. It is caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Stephon Diggs.
I want to thank Stephon Diggs. Woo, get it done.
Josh will take another shotgun snap. Takes, looks downfield, fires downfield, looking for Diggs inside the 5. Dives for it, makes the catch, and it is caught. Touchdown, Buffalo.
I thought I was buried in a few leagues, and Stephon Diggs revived me.
Gonna throw it to Diggs. Bobbles makes the catch into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Stephon Diggs, the hat trick. His 3rd touchdown for the Bills.
This team is going to pass the ball. Josh Allen going for the MVP. The Bills on this Super Bowl run. So that guy was someone I wanted in the mid to late first round. Career year coming for him.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
Third and goal, he takes the snap, he looks, he throws, touchdown! Amari Cooper, he was wide open! Nobody covered him, and they paid!
Amari M.F. and Cooper, you're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. Joining us right now, we've got Emmett Golden joining the show. He is the co-host of The Next Level with Emmett and Gerard on ESPN Cleveland. What's up, my man?
Hey, I'm doing great. It's game day, and hopefully the Browns can get a win today.
Hopefully, I guess we start there. What's the vibes around this game tonight? Are they hyped up going against a division rival? Those Browns-Steelers games are some of my favorite as a Browns fan. They get chippy.
No doubt. It's a little more subdued coming off of, Sunday's catastrophic loss and the way everything happened with that. So the fan base is a little more cautious heading into tonight's game than maybe they would be, in former matchups or latter years. So once the game gets close to kickoff and people get off work and they start tailgating, if you know what I mean, I think the juice will be flowing. Yeah, and it'll be a raucous crowd down at First Energy Stadium.
Absolutely.
A whopping 38.5 total on this one, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook. Which way you see this going, Emmett? You think this will hit the over like last week?
I think the Browns Jets were at 38.5 as well last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It's it's weird because I think the Browns can score some points. When it comes to the total, I'm not so sure about the Steelers, but the Browns also blow coverages a lot. So, maybe the over is looking pretty good, but I know the Browns are going to run the ball. I think they're going to be able to score, on the ground. And Jacoby Brissett, showed that all you got to do is hit the guy that Kevin Stefanski schemes open, and you can have a good day. So I think the Browns will be able to put up some points. I believe they fixed the issues in the secondary. They've had a defensive-only team meeting and things of that nature. So I think they'll be a little tighter on the back end.
God, I grew up a Browns fan. I'm a Browns fan. That loss to the Jets, that meltdown at the end there, just unreal. And we talked a little bit about it on the show. Nick Chubb scoring that touchdown instead of going down at the 1. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that? I've had some more time to think about it. Went back and watched, but I'm curious where you land on that one.
Yeah, I actually thought he was like right at the 1. As he cut back, you could see he hesitates for a second. And 2 years ago, I believe he did do that, where he had a long run and he stopped and took a knee and kneeled it out. Strategically, it would have been the right move, But I don't blame Nick Chubb for that loss. You know, you got a missed extra point, then you blown coverage, then you give up an onside kick, and you let him walk down the field. You know what? Nick Chubb scored 3 touchdowns that game. The Browns should have won. You know,
Yeah,
the
he did
defense
plenty.
the defense gets paid too. You know, they have a job to do, and they didn't do it late in the game. So while it was the correct move from a strategy standpoint, strategic standpoint, I'm not mad at him. You know, Nick Chubb is a pro's pro, and unfortunately, he'll probably never do that again when he's in that situation.
Yeah, you got to learn that. And it's easy to sit on your couch and you point out what other people should have done in a sport that you probably can't play. So, you know, it's certainly easy from our side to criticize.
There is a 1,000,000% chance if I was in that situation, even in like a rec league game, like something that I'm running that ball in, without a doubt in my mind,
right.
I'm getting caught up in the moment and I'm going straight in for that touchdown.
Yeah, screw the team. It's all about me.
Right. I mean, you're like, hey, I just put us up 2 touchdowns. There's no way we're going to blow
At
this.
the end of the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Right.
I'm trying to impress people. So, Emmett, you know, with all the quarterback stuff going on this offseason with the Cleveland Browns, you think they've ever been tempted to go back to Deshaun Kaiser?
To Kaiser, oh God, no.
I hear he's
oh God, no.
I hear he's waiting for the call.
Kaiser catching the unnecessary strays at 9:40 a.m.
Yeah, for a second I was like, did he mean Watson? Like, there's no way he actually meant Deshaun Kaiser, right? No, I don't think so. I'll never forget.
I love that you answered it earnestly anyway.
Yeah, I'll never forget that there was, I believe they were playing, I want to say it was Detroit. The Browns had no timeouts. It was at the end of the half, and they had the ball on, I want to say, Detroit's 3-yard line. They run a play. All the receivers run slants, but Deshaun Kaiser tries to run a quarterback sneak from the 3 with no timeouts and 5 seconds left. And it was that moment where I was like, I'm sorry, Deshaun, you can't be, you can't be the quarterback anymore.
This ain't it, bro. This ain't it. Right. I'm curious. I mean, like your background. How did you get into? How did you become, ingratiated in this Cleveland organization? How did you start working at ESPN? Like, can you walk us through like what led you down this path?
Yeah, randomly, like I was a late bloomer in the media, industry. I was, got out of college, was working at American Greetings, their world headquarters, the greeting card company, and thought, this is great. I'm going to work here for the rest of my life,
Be a card bro.
Yeah. I was working in the shipping and receiving department. I was like, this is cool. And, recession hit. I got laid off, bounced around, doing anything that I could do. And I got called back there. And one day while I was at work, I listened to Sports Talk Radio all the time. And then the night before work one day, my wife was like, hey, don't you want to have a career? You just got a job now. You're almost 30.
Bro. She hitting you with the heat.
Just on like a Tuesday, you're sitting there eating your dinner, and she's like, "So,
want a career?
Do you want to actually get a career?"
I got to give it to her.
I hear that
she
all
was
the time.
right. It was brutally honest, but it was accurate.
As you need to hear it.
Yeah. So I used to listen to the Dan Patrick Show all the time while I was at work. And I thought to myself, maybe I could be a producer, right? I didn't think I had the ability to be a host. That just seemed like it was way too difficult, for me to be able to do. But I was like, I love sports, and maybe I could run a board and be a producer. So that next day, I signed up for the Ohio Media School here in Cleveland. And I went there and I got an internship at ESPN Cleveland at 29 years old. I was a 29-year-old intern. There were very few, there was no one else my age in my intern class. And then, I just bust my ass after that, and I worked and I built relationships and I got opportunities, and I found out I was a terrible producer because I'm not organized enough,
You got to figure that stuff out that way though,
trial and error, right?
Yeah. I failed chemistry a bunch of times in college just to know that I'm never going to do chemistry again.
It took me 6 years to get an electrical engineering degree to learn that I will never be an electrical engineer. Not one day in my life.
You'll be a 28-year-old YouTuber.
I'll be a 28-year-old YouTuber. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. So fortunately enough, there were people in our company that thought it was cool when I cracked the microphone. That thought I did a good job, whenever I talked. So they said, hey, how about we move you from the board and take you from the producer role and, work with you on being a host. And the rest, is history. And
imagine like a Jay-Z Kanye situation where like you're just like testing the mics and then some decision maker across the room is like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's got it.
Get that man on the radio.
He stands up on the table and starts
I
spitting
got
sports
hurt
back.
in an air check. Yeah, I got hurt in an air check that, was being Evan Cohen, who's our director of content in our company, was air checking Gerard Cherry, who is my co-host now, but at the time, he was a host and, I was some intern and some part-timer, and he was like, hey, who's this guy? So it kind of, in a way, it kind of was like that.
That's awesome. That's such a cool story.
I love stories like that. And a reminder to everybody, like, dude, it's not too late. You're 29. You're trying to figure out what to do. Take that shot. Go for it. Like it is never too late. Put that work in. Emmett, before we let you go, let's get some score predictions for tonight's game. How much are the Browns going to win by? What's the score of this game?
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a lot closer than I would like it to be. I'm thinking, 2017, something like that. I'm hoping this is a blow. The Browns need a blowout, but I just don't think they're there yet. But if they could go up 3 touchdowns and put this to bed early so a lot of us can get to bed,
For real. We got a show to do in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing the post game show tonight, so I'll probably be on the air until 1 a.m.
Yeah.
But hey, that's the gig. But yeah, I think the Browns will be able to pull it out. I just think it's gonna be a close game.
2017 from Emmett right there. Emmett, really appreciate you taking the time to come on with us today. Guys, if you're not already following Emmett, go and follow him on Twitter right now at egoldie80. That is EGOLDIE 80. Emmett, absolute pleasure talking with you today, and good luck to the Browns tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. And you ever need me, just hit me up.
Appreciate you, brother. Enjoy the game.
What a good guy. He's got me a little bit more excited.
After every single beat writer, by the way.
I know. It's just a bunch of good guys.
I love it.
Just a bunch of good guys.
I was just about to bring it up. I was like, after every single beat writer, Coop goes, it's a good guy right there.
It's a good guy. Keith, could you get us some assholes that we could make fun of? And he's not a beat writer.
You're right. He's not a beat writer. Sorry. I meant it, the guess.
The guess.
No, he would, and it was amazing. That was really dope to get that insight on the Browns. Do you feel like a better Browns fan now, Simon?
After talking to Emmett,
have you leveled up?
No, I have not. No. Emmett was great, but this is not the season to level up my Browns fanhood. We are not. 2022 is not the year of like becoming a bigger Browns fan. No, know what I mean? This is not the year of making that more. Everybody coming up, I see your questions. We're going to be answering some more of those. And if you're enjoying what you see here, we got more for you over on our YouTube channel, Front Yard Fantasy on YouTube. Go and check us out. Hit that subscribe button and get more of JL and I right in your eye holes. You're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Better Sports Network.
Surely, kickers never retire, I think. They just continue playing for all eternity. Like, there's only ever been 30 NFL kickers.
They're always readily available too, it seems. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just get called up. They're like, you kicked for us 10 years ago, right? Why don't you
run it back? Let's
I imagine every single kicker that gets the call is on a high school football field somewhere just practicing field goals after hours. Like it's like 9 p.m. and they're out there just in the local high school kicking field goals, and the phone rings. They get a call and they're like, yeah, I'm ready. I've been practicing for this.
I have an amazing kicker story if you guys have a second to.
I got a couple.
The number one all-time field goal kicker is Adam Vinatieri. The next two guys are Morton and Gary Anderson, right? Gary Anderson was a dude from like South Africa that just played rugby and soccer. He just could absolutely boot the ball, right? They bring him over and he does like a tryout and he's just absolutely crushing the ball. And all these colleges are like, dude, we want you to come kick field goals for us. And he goes, I don't even want to play football. He goes, I want to play soccer. He goes, I want to play soccer. He goes, so if I can come to your school and play soccer, I'll also, in the fall, I'll kick for the football team. And Syracuse was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, you're on the soccer team. Like, come on. And he went to Syracuse to play soccer, but also kick field goals. And then he ended up being a top 3 point scorer in the NFL all time.
That's ridiculous.
And his answer to recruiters was, I don't want to play football. I'll do it in my spare time.
Yeah. He's like, you got a spot for me in the soccer team. Syracuse is like, yeah, we got a spot for you.
We don't even care about our soccer team.
We don't even care.
We totally have that spot.
Right? They had to like cobble together a soccer team. Like, this guy's the captain.
Oh my God. It's like Accepted, the movie, but they just like had to throw together a whole fake soccer team.
Somehow they still got Justin Long.
Right, yeah. Like, Adam Sandler's the coach. And dude, it's imagine they win the national championship. That's a movie, dog. Yeah.
Boom!
Someone call up Disney. Yeah, we just wrote a movie for you, Disney. This has Disney sports movie written all over. I'm borderline crying right here just thinking about this movie right now.
Dude, the story gets even crazier. Like, I should have looked it up again, but like, it was like a high school coach that went and found him, and then that high school coach ended up being somebody crazy famous that like coached for the Rams.
Stay tuned for sports. Talk about your picks, your fantasy teams, and your sports collectibles on Better Sports Network.
Gets it to Chubb, takes it left, takes it outside, got the corner, 10, 5, cut back, touchdown! A hat trick!
Welcome back in, everyone. Good morning. This is the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show on Better Sports Network. And a reminder to everyone,
this is Patrick.
It's Coop's birthday, so make sure you go out there and wish him a happy birthday. He's out celebrating today. At Coop A Fiasco. Every time I hear that now, Jill, I just want to like go back to like I want to say like Coop A Fiasco.
Coop A Fiasco.
In a little voice right afterwards. I can't help it right there.
It's so good, man.
It is so good. And Jill, ever since you said Shrekspurts, and it sounds like Sexperts.
You been thinking about it?
All I can think about is Shrek as a sex therapist. We're like,
oh my God, $1 million idea. What do you call those things? Like sex phone lines? You know, where you like call,
but it's a Shrek phone line.
But it's all Shrek. Every single person that answers is Shrek.
I'll get in your swamp. Shrek just talking dirty.
First example.
Peel back my layers, baby. There's all sorts of things you can say about Shrek right there.
Oh my God.
Well, we'll start a Shrek's line where you can call in and get some dirty Shrek talk. Jill, I love how you started that with $1 million idea. A Shrek themed sex phone line. $1 million idea.
Sex phone line sounds wrong. Is there a different term? Is there a $1 million idea? This is a good idea. I believe in this fully. My confidence is not wavering.
We getting the other characters involved, or is it just Shrek?
Just Shrek, baby.
Just Shrek and Shrek only. That's a busy ogre, man.
No, I'm not gonna say that. Let's get some questions here in the YouTube chat.
We did have some questions in the chat. DeAndre Swift sees it in here, letting us know he sent Lamar and Andrews for Justin Jefferson, Brady, and Freiermuth. Now he has Justin Jefferson and Jonathan Taylor on that team. What do you think about that trade? I'm assuming one quarterback, so Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews for Justin Jefferson, Brady, and Freiermuth.
Sent Lamar Jackson, and you said assume Superflex?
I said I'm assuming one QB.
Oh,
I said the exact opposite of that.
Perfect. I don't love it just because if it's one QB, I don't like trading for quarterbacks. If you're now the one situation in which I'm okay with it is if your team is so stacked and Lamar, I guess in this situation you're sending away Lamar and Andrews.
That's what I was gonna say. I wouldn't consider this a trade for a quarterback, even though they're getting Brady back. Brady's just the replacement.
It's the other way. They're trading their quarterback away for Justin Jefferson. In which case, hell yes. If you can include your quarterback in a trade for a skill position player in a 1 QB league, brilliant. That is a great strategy.
I like this trade. I'm with you, JL. I know it looks kind of scary trading away Lamar and Andrews, trading away that stack, but Justin Jefferson is on another level in one quarterbacks league. You got Brady, who's a fine enough replacement for Lamar. Yeah, maybe you cap your upside a little bit, but Brady's upside is 50 touchdowns and 5,000 plus yards, right? Like he has that upside. So you're just capping maybe the weekly rushing yards from him. Not that Brady can't get you 2 or 3 on the ground. And then Freiermuth is an ascending tight end right now. So maybe a slight downgrade at tight end and quarterback, but big upgrade at wide receiver, and a team with Justin Jefferson and Jonathan Taylor on it. You're looking pretty down the stretch, DeAndre Swift season.
Solid move. That is a really solid move.
Don Julio in our league had a question. Said someone dropped Marquise Brown in my 12-man league. How much fab should I spend to get him? So it's hard. Fab questions are hard whenever you say how much fab do I spend to get him, because we don't know your league. Left? But let's assume, JL, they haven't spent any fab yet. Their team's loaded. They've got 100 fab out of 100. How much are you spending on Marquise Brown?
Marquise Brown? The Marquise Brown? I'm spending
Hollywood
a good
himself.
amount. Hollywood himself. I'm spending a good amount. I think right now is Marquise Brown's golden moment, right? With DeAndre Hopkins suspended for the first 6 games. So we might see Marquise Brown kind of tail off a little bit towards the second half of the season. We don't know. That's just a possibility. He could still be the main guy here. He could command a big enough target share in this offense, even when DeAndre Hopkins comes back. But there is at least concern. So I'd be willing to spend a decent amount, probably up to like 60 or 70%. Maybe more if I needed wide receiver.
Players like this don't come along on the waiver wire very often. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't get a starting caliber player,
Solid
a wide receiver 1
too.
for an offense.
Or 1, yeah.
He's a 1 for his offense right now.
Yeah, I'm expecting to finish this wide receiver 2 level is what I was saying.
And look at the first 2 weeks. Maybe you're a little disappointed. Week 1, the touchdown saved it, but week 2, 11 targets, 6 receptions. Give me that all day. A wide receiver getting 11 targets sitting on the waiver wire, that's hot. That is hot. You got to pick him up, and I'd be willing to spend 50 to 75% of your fab picking up a player like that.
17% target share in week 1, and then 23% in week 2. So that's pretty solid. That's exactly what we were expecting to see with DeAndre Hopkins out. So
there is a world this Arizona Cardinals offense hasn't looked great 7 of the 8 quarters so far this season. They could be really missing DeAndre Hopkins. Know what I mean? And Marquise Brown, we always talk about certain receivers do better whenever there's a 1 taking some of that coverage, right? Sure, the volume may go down for Marquise Brown, but it's not like this death sentence whenever Nuke comes back. I still think he's a wide receiver that you can start for your fantasy teams. He just doesn't have that upside of being the 1 in this offense.
And if you guys remember, DeAndre Hopkins last season in Arizona was not really commanding a high volume.
Compared to what he did previously, yeah.
Before he's been a target hog, he is a
hog.
He's one of hog. I didn't even hear that I said it, which is just dumb. He's one of the best, what I would consider just wide receiver technicians. He's one of the best at the craft of being a wide receiver. The skills you need to be a good wide receiver. DeAndre Hopkins, that is. So I do think that he's going to impact Marquise Brown, but we don't know how much that's going to be.
Yeah, could be some, could be a lot. No, but I expect Marquise Brown to still have decent production even with Nuke back. I'm with you, JL. But you're right. We didn't see the vintage Nuke when he was on the Texans and commanding some. It was Nuke. When the ball went in the air, it was going to DeAndre Hopkins. It felt like every time, right? He was truly just soaking up every target in that offense. And God, I just hate that word. Whenever you say soaking. That's one of the phrases when they say that on announcement, oh, he's soaking up every target in this. Don't say that. Just pick a different word. He's absorbing. That sounds better. Absorbing every target. Absorbing sounds better than soaking up.
Penetration. That's the one.
Soaking makes me think of a dirty sponge just sitting on the counter, soaking up all the water. Oh,
what about soaking the sun? Never heard that?
Yeah, but you're not soaking up.
Soaking in a bath.
I guess I was about to say you're not soaking up the sun, but then immediately I remembered, I'm gonna soak up the sun.
Yeah.
They explicitly soak up the sun right there.
Yeah.
Was that beautiful? How was that?
That was so good. At first, I thought you were going to go, I'm turning 30. Because I've been listening too much Bo Burnham.
There is no such thing as listening to too much.
Oh,
Bo
there
Burnham.
is. Oh, there certainly is.
I don't know why this reminded me, but you said announcers say penetrate all the time. One time I was watching the Clemson-Syracuse game, and I feel like the announcers were just like something happened to whoever was supposed to announce that game right after, and they just grabbed a guy and threw him in the booth because he kept saying the weirdest stuff. And the one line that stands out to me is he goes, "Oh, he really sauteed him on that play." Like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
what does sauteing someone on the football field mean?
Exactly. I feel like that's so. You picked like the worst example. That's like straight up self-explanatory. He sauteed the hell out of that guy. I know exactly what he meant.
I have no idea what he meant right there.
He started heating up a little oil, and then he threw him into the pan with that oil, and just cooked it up a little bit.
In the middle of the game. I must have missed that part. I must have looked away. I must have been just staring at who was the coach there for the Syracuse? Scott something. Scott Frazier.
I don't know a single Syracuse coach. I don't know a single Syracuse player I can name.
Not a single one.
I don't even know if that's a real school.
Syracuse Orange. Jail, you got to be able to name one Syracuse player.
I don't know a single Syracuse player.
I'm sure there's some in the NFL. I would say you got to. Phil Clark of the Syracuse Orangemen.
the Syracuse Dimodomes.
Dimmadome. We had another question in here. JL. Fear Chris. Said, is David Montgomery too much to give up for Breece Hall and PPR?
No, I think that's adequate. I don't like 1-for-1 positions of players, especially when the players are, 1-for-1 trades, players same position, and then especially players like who are vaguely in similar tier. That to me, you're just making a lateral move. I am a little more bullish on Breece Hall this season than David Montgomery, especially in PPR formats, half PPR formats. But it's still kind of lateral. So I would make that trade just because I feel that way about this, about these two players. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like going to make your team that much better.
I'm just keeping David Montgomery here. It's a lot safer. He's getting the work. He looks good whenever he's getting the work. This Bears offense hopefully improves a little bit. I like David Montgomery. Breece Hall, I expect to take on a bigger role there, but you're taking a bit of a risk. And in the same tier, I just don't. I don't see the upside in making this move. We had some more questions in here. JL.
Hey.
Young Vision wants to know, in a standard league, has to sit one of these players: Deontay Johnson, Amari Cooper, Curtis Samuel. Which of those three players are you sitting?
Standards, a non-PPR.
Non-PPR.
Which one am I sitting?
Yes.
I'm sitting Garrett Wilson.
That wasn't an option.
It said, I thought it was, you said
Deontay Johnson, Amari Cooper, Curtis Samuel.
I was reading a completely different question. Sorry, one more time. Read it back.
Deontay Johnson, Amari Cooper, Curtis Samuel, standard league.
I'm sitting Amari Cooper.
I'm sitting Deontay Johnson. I'm sitting Deontay Johnson in this one, leaving Amari Cooper in that lineup.
Is it because his last name's Johnson?
It's because his last name is Johnson and not Hogg. If his name was Deontay Hogg. Maybe that's his...
Yes, Deontay Hogg.
Get that Johnson talk out of here. We want nothing. We want nothing to do with Deontay's Johnson.
I hate you so much. We are such idiots. Get in the game said he's milking up every target.
Oh yeah, he is. Deontay Johnson is milking all of Trubisky's targets, every single one of them.
You want to speed round these last couple questions here?
Yeah, let's hit some of these last questions. We've got Will said, who should I start in my flex? Zeke, Bateman, or Garrett?
Now here it is. For me, who should you start in flex? Zeke. Zeke over these other two guys. Simon, are you starting any of the wide receivers? I know you're typically a wide receiver guy if it comes down to a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I generally would probably lean the wide receiver here, but Zeke going up against the New York Giants this week, that's a decent enough matchup. I think Zeke gets the work. This is the get right game for Zeke. This is what all the Zeke managers are
playing the Giants.
Yeah, that's what they're playing the Giants. I'm plugging Zeke in. I'm plugging Zeke in. Bateman's a great start though, but it's going to be Zeke for me.
PPR, I'm probably going to go Bateman over Zeke, but I like Zeke, and I typically like to play if it's going to depend on my opponent. But if I need the safety, I'm going to go running back.
Okay, super rapid fire. Offered Kittle and Knox for Javonte Williams. Are you taking
Kittle
this?
for Knox and Javonte Williams?
Nah, I'm keeping Javonte Williams and Knox.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, you don't want to buy an injury.
Everybody watching, thanks so much for tuning in this morning on the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. We'll be back at 7 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And make sure you stick around here. Moose and Keith coming up right here next. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Adios.
Bye-bye.
Hogs.
Oh.